Where's the music? Hang on, we're here. There it goes. Okay, we're back. We took a day off yesterday. I am now live from sunny South Louisiana. I'm sitting here in shorts. The weather's gorgeous. I'm adjusting to being back home after 15 years, and I'm
Your
really having a
your your first time home in 15 years?
yeah.
Wow, man, that's
I'm back
crazy.
to my roots. I'm really having a good time so far. I'm
That's great,
my
man. I know it'd been that long. I know it'd been a while since you've been home. I didn't know it'd been 15 years though. That's
yeah.
crazy.
I've been away way too long. I'm noticing it just after one day. Why is it? Hang on. You hear music? Why is the music playing?
I don't
Oh,
know.
hang on. Fuck. I had the
I turned
YouTube
it off.
tab open. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
All right, we're back. Technical difficulties. Yeah. So what did I miss?
Nothing, man. I mean, like it was yesterday. I mean, it's just yesterday. I mean, it. I talked to you the day before that, like, but I went on Machine Stream night before last, and I was trying to support. Like, did you see the message from him
No.
about what?
Oh yeah, his personal message. Well, not
Yeah.
personal. It was on his on his channel. But yeah, I saw a little bit of the stream, but I was at my friend's house and it was under his account, so I couldn't type anything. And so I wanted to like chat to y'all, but I couldn't. So I had to just sit there and watch it.
Yeah, I stayed on there until he decided to go to Tommy's stream.
He left his stream to go to
Yeah,
Tommy's.
he shut his stream down to
What
go to
the?
Tommy's stream.
What? See, that's what I'm talking about. I'm done. I'm done. I'm just. We're trying to create two different types of communities. I just need to find the people that are on the same page as me as far as vision, because they're elevating the lowest common denominator at the expense of the people that I think would most empower a community.
To be fair, I follow. I said I was like, fine, I'll follow you over there. I went over there for like 5 minutes, or I don't know. It felt like 3 hours. I swear, it was like because it was just him just spurging about something, and I was like, bye, I'm out of here, peace, and I left, and I went back. I went back and played a movie on the Discord, and then apparently the TML left, and they all went to flow states after that. So they went to
What
flow state.
movie?
I put on Schizopolis.
Oh yeah, I woke up like at 2 in the morning and I tried to join, but it was. I guess it had
It was
ended.
already over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fell asleep toward the end of it. There was nobody there. Well, Adaptable was there for a little while. I've been hanging out with him on Discord some. He's a really really good guy.
I told Emerald there's no movie tonight because I'm hanging
Sure.
out with the family later, but that you might want to do something with the Discord if you want. There
Yeah.
just won't be a discussion afterwards.
No, I think me and Adaptable we're probably going to watch this movie Nefarious that he says is really good. I don't know. It just he really he recommends a lot. Tell Emerald about it because um it's a horror movie of some sort. So I know she likes horror movies. So
Oh yeah, yeah. I think she does. Yeah, people chasing with axes. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, she might like it. I don't know because I've never seen it before, but he said it's really good. Yeah, me and him me and him watched Nobody the other night with Bob Odenkirk. I'd seen it before, but
I don't. I've never heard of that one.
it's uh it's kind of like John Wick, but Bob Odenkirk from Better Call Saul and
Yeah, I remember him from. Did he do not Second City, State, Second State? There was a little MTV comedy show in the
yeah,
'90s.
yeah, he did that, and he did Mr. Show, and he was in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, and he did this movie where he's like basically like it's kind of like John Wick, but he's like a retired. He's like this retired assassin for the CIA or something like that. Like these, and he gets involved with this Russian mob, and like it's like this. It's a really cool action movie. It's just dumb action, but it was fun.
I've never
Um,
seen John Wick either. So I'm
this
glad
movie,
people are using the movie channel.
yeah, it's really fun actually. But me and him and Jack last night. Well, it's me and Dad we're just talking. We're just talking in the voice channel on TML's Discord for a long time. Then Jack joined in. Like we were talking about. We were talking about a bunch of crazy conspiracy shit mostly, but it's, I was like half out of it. He was like playing some some conspiracy videos that he had downloaded from the internet a long time ago, and we were just kind of commenting on them and just we weren't really taking it too serious, but we talked about some things that were real serious. Like I do have some concerns about. There were some things I was noticing, like some of the things that Jack told me that I didn't know about the whole drama from before. That I'm not going to go into on stream right now because I don't
like stream drama or real world.
No, like some of like the stuff that got more personal towards him and stuff like that I didn't know about.
Oh,
some, like,
right, yeah, I remember that.
More dangerous stuff and like
that was the same. Some of the same trolls that people keep letting on these streams are the people involved in that. That's why I don't fuck with the trolls. I don't think they're a healthy ingredient to the community gumbo.
And after some of the stuff he told me, like it actually made me think, like I don't think that it was really directed at him, but it makes me think that somebody on possibly government. I know it sounds paranoid and shit, but
yes, it does.
Like remember that thing that happened not that longer? Like they tried to rile up. There was like this group of like they're kind of like white supremacist adjacent kind of group of guys, and they try to get them involved in this terror. The FBI tried to entrap them in the terror plot. You remember that happened? They all went to jail. They all got arrested.
You talking about the Michigan governor where they tried to kidnap him?
Yeah, and like it turned out the whole thing was all orchestrated by the feds and stuff like that. And they were just trying to like create patsies and stuff like that. And I don't know, like some of the stuff that he told me it sounded really suspiciously like that. Like they were like making like really specific threats and kind of like and trying to like rile people up, trying to like suggest that hey, maybe somebody should go and do a B on some places, you know.
So does that tie into the streaming drama? Are you saying?
I mean, that's where the streaming drama like grew out of that. That's the reason why the streaming drama happened. Apparently, it's because the conversations that he had with those people.
The people involved in the kidnapping.
No, not that, but just the people that were involved in the stream drama. It was very similar to that kind of thing where like these guys like TBE and stuff were like suggesting that hey, maybe somebody should go and do a terrorism, you know. And
that's because that's the kind of people they are.
Like testing the waters to see if like anybody would actually, and so that just sounds like some entrapment shit to me. It sounds like somebody's trying to actually like set somebody up for something. I hope that's not. I mean, I'm not trying to be paranoid, and I hope that's not the case. I hope it's just a bunch of trolls being dumb trolls. But still, like I hearing shit like that, I'm like, I mean, I was already on your side about the troll thing. I was already 100%. I don't think Tommy is one of those guys. I think he's just a fucking meth head.
And he's just like I said, and I've said this before, he's just the most obvious example because he's always on and he's a prominent. But there's like 4 or 5 Tommies in these groups.
Oh yeah, no, and the other ones are the ones I'm much more concerned about. But yeah, I mean, I can't believe me. I went to his stream for all of like I said 5-10 minutes. I was there and I left so fast. I was just like I never said a word. I sat there and just was like, why am I here? Why are you here? No one could say anything because he was just like blah, 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 blah,
yeah,
blah,
that's yes exactly.
Yeah. And so I was just like I was like peace guys, I'm out of here. I knew it was what was going to happen, but apparently like everybody else left 5 minutes after that. So I was just the first one out the door.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but Machine was tired. I think he just didn't, because he feels like if it's his stream, he feels like he needs to contribute something, and he was just so emotionally drained that he just didn't feel like hosting the stream anymore. That was what it came down to. That's the only reason he did it.
Oh,
he's in a bad place emotionally, man. He's just, I talked to him for a long time before the stream and some after and stuff like that. I'm trying to help him out some best I can.
What would help him the most?
I don't know. I don't know exactly. I'm trying to help him see. Like I know a couple people that from back in my older, more hacker adjacent days that like know how to like how to find addresses and stuff like that. So we're trying to see. I'm trying to see if I can help him find where his wife might be or something like that. So maybe he like at least contact her because he is so worried about her and everything. And like, and hearing all that shit last night about all that stuff, that makes me even more worried. Like, who knows what people are doing right now, or trying to like trolls could be like contacting her and like, and telling her stuff and stuff like that, especially since she's got her own mental issues, stuff like that's really, that makes them susceptible. And like, I
think everyone has mental issues. All of this sounds mental issues.
Anyway,
because he's not going to be able to do it. Like, even if that's happening,
yeah,
there's nothing he could do about it.
No, there isn't. It's just I just feel bad for him, and he's because he really isn't. He really has a big heart. He's not a he's. I don't think he's a bad guy at all, and
No, I don't either.
and the stream was actually pretty good for the most part. I mean, I mean Tommy did show up, but he didn't really say anything. He was just there, but he was mostly in the chat. It was and there was like I went on there mostly just I went on with Juniper just kind of like try to help to cheer him up because it always cheers up when he sees Juniper. Juniper waves at him and stuff, and went on there and there was people in the chat. There was trolls in the chat like trying to rile me up and stuff. And I find it hilarious just to like completely ignore them. I think it's hilarious whenever like trolls just like they're trying so hard to like get to like say things to like make you mad, and you just don't even acknowledge them at all. I find that to be very entertaining. So
those are the low tier trolls.
I guess I mean they were saying some nasty shit about me and having Juniper on the stream, saying like
What?
like I was exploiting. Yeah, they're saying like I was exploiting her. I'm probably probably a p word kind of thing.
I was about to say that's their next. Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't bother me. But like, yeah, I'm not. I just don't acknowledge it. I just like But adaptable even like I think he even deleted a couple of comments from it because it said it pissed him off. But yeah, the first time I ever actually talked to him, he actually came on voice and actually talked and stuff like that because we've always seen him in the chat and stuff. Never heard him speak and had a really good conversation with him. He's a really nice guy. He him and his girlfriend is that girl Nom de Plume. You've seen her in TML's chat probably. She's been in ours before too.
I don't notice her.
Hey guys.
Hey, what's
really
up?
Hey Hank. Like that hat, man.
Thank you. I like it too.
Have you worn it? Is that one you've worn before? It looks familiar.
Yes.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going good.
You sound good.
Yeah. Thank you. Still didn't hire the voice coach, but I'm working on talking better.
Well, let me know when you find one because I need one too.
Yeah. Till then, I'll just try talking slower.
What a voice coach? What are you talking about?
Oh, so yeah. Paul says sometimes it's hard for people to hear me because I talk too fast compared to my tone of voice.
I have a problem with that too. Sometimes you're hard to understand.
Yeah,
but I have that too. I had an articulation disorder as a kid. I was in speech therapy.
Yeah. So until then, I'll just try to talk slower because my voice is low, so people should be able to process it if I talk slower.
Well, so far so good.
Awesome.
So it was the speed.
Yes, I think it's mostly the speed and the tone. I have a low pitched voice, so if I slow down, people should be able to understand it pretty well.
Yeah, I do notice a difference. It's hard to consciously.
The problem is I think really fast, but that allows me to at least cut down the chunks I need to say to get what I want to express. So,
well, do you have anything to say today?
Oh, absolutely.
What's up?
So, pretty much Collective Dismal made a video that pretty much expressed the just difference in philosophy that I have between me and Snafu Snaps.
Now, I don't really know him. What is his deal? Because everyone keeps talking about it.
So, pretty much he is like a conspiracy theorist,
Who is it?
Pretty much he's a truther. I would say he's a truther, but I use he used to be an Alex Jones listener. But I guess post-truther. How you say post-truther?
You used to be a truther?
Not quite, but I did listen to a lot of Alex Jones back in the 2010s.
Conspiracy theorists.
Yeah,
I think it started with 9/11 conspiracy.
I know that's what I'm saying. Like the term truther.
But now it's like anybody that thinks there's some kind of behind the scenes going on that the full truth is not being told, and they're out to expose the truth behind.
They're just conspiracy theory.
Exactly. But I used to be in that scene, and I'm post-truther. and pretty much I want work the system to my advantage. If it's going globalist direction, fine, but I'll just go there.
I don't
I'm
think
going
it
to
is.
flip some switches and make sure it benefits me as to the biggest extent I can make it do so. But he, on the other hand,
I don't think it really is. I think they use the threat of globalism as a thing to keep people scared.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are globalists. That's a real thing. I just think they're the minority, and I don't think the world in general is ready for globalism just yet.
And
I agree.
I don't think the real globalists. I don't think they really even believe it that much. I think they know that it's not really possible, but they use it as like this. They keep using it as like this, like kind of like goal.
It's a goal.
Yeah,
it's a goal they aim for, but they pretty much
that's
know
been around for a while. Like even back with the
Yeah.
United Nations, and I think even before the '60s, there were these programs to get on.
You guys
this
ever seen these
global
things?
agenda.
You see this? You ever seen these things? Look, it's like
Oh, like a
bunch
STEM
of-
toy?
it's a bunch of magnet like things.
Oh wow! It
I
looks
was cleaning. I was getting stuff in my storage unit. And this Korean guy that was like cleaning out his. He was like, here, man. Do you want this? And I was like, sure. I was like, and, I don't know. I've just been fidgeting with it. It's
That
just,
does look fun. Those things are addictive.
let me know if it makes any weird noises or something that's annoying.
not really. So pretty much, what Collector Dismal says, and I agree with, is that we should just change it bit by bit, like a ship at sea.
Like
But-
the ship of Theseus.
Exactly.
What changed what in particular?
Well, anything we don't like, we'll just change it slowly, using the system against itself to.
That's what we're supposed to do. That's what liberal democracy is.
Yes, yes. But Snafu, on the other hand, thinks there's going to be a collapse soon. Just like
Everyone
It's not going to be a collapse. The world is too big to have
yeah.
one single collapse. It did happen during COVID.
Well,
everything-
they're not empowered after COVID.
Everything
he
bounced back from COVID. That was a global.
Yes,
event.
go slow down, but didn't really collapse.
No,
But-
yeah.
But he thinks there's going it's gonna be a collapse soon, like a rapture or whatever's going to happen, or Ragnarok. I don't know. And then he'll be in charge. But
They're going to come and say the world collapsed. We want you in charge now.
yeah,
why would he be in
gonna
charge?
happen. And there's no way. The thing is, even if that happened, no one's gonna put him in charge, and if he doesn't have the infrastructure, then he's gonna be at the bottom of the pile.
This sounds like just mental health.
Yeah, just basic.
Yeah,
I don't know where the term spurging.
Paranoid delusional fantasies.
yeah.
I never heard the term spurging until like 2 weeks ago, but now I hear it all the time, and like I love the word. I can't stop using it.
It comes from autism originally. How autistic people can just info dump. on
Yeah.
people. They use it for anybody that just starts ranting.
Which is ironic because Jeff and I are considered the coldest people when we go on panels, and we coldest and most level-headed. So
I'm
it's
considered
ironic.
cold.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's well. Come
No,
live
you
in
don't
Washington
get
State.
flustered.
If you want to see cold, come live up there. And
Yeah,
I'm one
you
of the
don't get
warmest
flustered at all by anyone, and neither do I.
Well, I've
So we
dealt
don't
with
spur.
these. I've dealt
Yeah.
with these types for so long.
Yeah,
I used
yeah,
to
me too. So
teach.
the
I worked in
autists
mental
don't spur.
institutions.
Yeah, it's ironic that the autists don't spur.
Well, some of them do, but
Yeah,
I happen to. When I have something to say, I say it. Like I have hour-long streams where I sit there and turn the camera on and talk about topics for over an hour, but I wouldn't call that spurging.
Yeah,
I don't think I've never spurred on a stream, so
You spurg all the time. That's your
do.
ADHD, though.
I mean I talk a lot, but I mean spurging I think of as more like whenever someone's like ranting where no one else can talk, and it's like that.
I think it's just a constant stream of speech, that
Oh.
like monologue.
monologue, and don't let anyone have a word in edgewise.
But I always let people interrupt me though.
I mostly do.
I don't know, but yeah, there's a lot of streamy drama shit, I suppose, happening. But
Is there anything going on in the world that I missed? I haven't looked at news the
I haven't
past
looked at
couple
the
of
news.
days.
Yes. Yeah, Factor IO went up in price from $30 to $35 on
Ooh.
every store they're on. It's like the one game that goes up in price over time instead of goes down.
Okay.
So it went up in price again.
Y'all heard it here.
What does that mean?
That's a game. Factor IO is a game. It went up in price. Most games sold via digital distribution goes down in price over time, but this is a big exception.
Oh, Factorio, right? Factorio.
Yeah.
That's that one Destiny used to play, right?
Yeah, Factorio.
The game looks so boring to me. I could never play that game. I couldn't play any game anymore. I just can't play video games anymore. But yeah, Factorio. I watched a couple of streams like where he was playing that, and like I remember just like watching him playing that game, just thinking like, why would anyone want to play this? This just looks like stressful and exhausting. It looks like a job.
I can't play video games anyway. So, plus they don't interest me.
I don't play them at the moment.
Although I was in the Pitfall Club in the 80s. If you got a high scored Pitfall and took a picture of your screen, you sent it into Atari, and they would send you a little membership card and some swag.
Like I said, I was a Blockbuster world champion, man. I was a big baller video gamer at one time. For my small town, I was.
I'll probably play video games after I upgrade my OS. Fedora 39 just came out recently, so I'll just skip out. I'm still running 36. I'm going to start rolling over to 39. But
I'm a liar, actually, because there's a game called Gloomhaven that I'm playing right now. But it's not really a video game. It's you play with cards. You don't have to sit there with a joystick and like manipulate your men. It's more of a strategic tactic.
I know about Gloomhaven. It looked really.
It's through Steam though, so I guess it's video games.
Yes,
I think of it as board games, but you could say it's video.
It's digital board game. There we go. That hits all the marks.
I used to be able to play that kind of stuff too. I can't even play that kind of stuff anymore. Like just games in general, I can't.
I'm trying to find Cosmic Encounter players and learn how to use Tabletop Simulator.
I know one guy who knows how to use on Monday Debate Discord. I'll invite him to Satyrs Grove and tell him that you want to learn more about Tabletop Simulator.
Yeah, tell him to get a game going. I'm in. They have a Discord for Cosmic Encounter, and I keep trying to get people in there to.
Well, Paul plays Tabletop Simulator. He was talking a lot about it on his.
Oh yeah. I mentioned Cosmic Encounter in that chat with what's his face, Connor. Is that his name? Counterpoints.
Yeah.
Counterpoints. PF Jung.
Yeah, PF Jung.
Yeah.
PF Chang.
PF Chang. PF Chang, the philosopher, the famous philosopher. Yeah. I definitely. I mean, if you wanted to, I mean, I'll definitely play it with you. I just don't know.
I need like at least 4. I think if I had 4 people, I could play test it and then work up to 5 or 6 players.
I definitely join in. I have fun with things like that when it's like interacting with people.
Because Tabletop Simulator, it's not automated. It's as though it simulates tabletop. So you have to like deal the cards. You have to shuffle the card. Like you have to do all this stuff manually, and I don't know the controls.
Is there a VR version of it? That'd be sweet if there's a VR version of it.
I wish.
Yes.
There is?
No.
There's not.
Not of Cosmic. Maybe of other games.
Oh man,
I don't do VR.
That's just for Tabletop Simulator. That would just be amazing. I have a VR headset. And, like you can just actually sit there and actually like.
But I thought you can't do VR anymore.
Well, I can't do that. I can't do the VR games that I do like I used to do like the rhythm game stuff because you stand up and stuff like that. That's where I fall over. But if I'm sitting down like at my computer, I can play VR. I mean, it might make me a little dizzy depending on the settings of the thing. But if it's like a tabletop thing where I'm just like looking forward, as long as I don't have to like look around a bunch and like move around a bunch, so I'm fine. I think so. I mean, I don't know. I haven't tried it in ages, so I mean, it would just be a matter of testing it out. But I mean, it doesn't matter if like there isn't one for that anyway. I think it'd be cool just like if you'd be able to play like the tabletop games in real in VR like that. That'd be fun.
It looks like it has interfaces. I put it in the private chat.
Cool.
It's api.tabletopsimulator.com/VR.
How much does it cost? Because like I don't really have any money. So.
You have a Steam account?
Yeah, I have a Steam account. Yeah.
I think it's free, wasn't it?
Because as long as somebody else has the game, I think you can play.
Oh, you can play with it.
At least with Cosmic.
Yeah, I've had a Steam account for a long time. Still have a bunch of. That's where most of my VR games are on Steam. I just haven't used them in a long time. That's why.
Okay.
That's my whole VR setup used to be was through Steam and through the. I didn't have the Oculus. I did have the Oculus, but I didn't have the Vive, whatever it was, the one that Steam made. But I had the controllers from it because the controllers were like really important part. And I had an HTZ one. Like you have all the sensors set up around everything like that. It's pretty cool. But I don't. I mean, it's all in storage now. But I still have an Oculus Rift I could pull out though. I was really into VR for a while. I mean, it was like I was trying. That was one of the main things I was going to like set my channel up around. I was going to set up around VR gaming and stuff like that. I was going to do VR streams.
By the way, did you think about the movie script anymore?
No, yeah, I've been kind of working with it, kind of like trying to work. I downloaded a couple of apps like kind of help me with outlining again, trying to.
Because I had the thought that AI could help you with an outline or a rough draft,
maybe, but
and then you could script doctor it.
I'm still resistant to the AI thing, but yeah. No, I should.
Because we have all those ideas we had. You could feed all of them into an AI and see what it comes up with, and then that would give you.
And I had a really good idea for it. Oh shit! I had a really good idea for it once at the hospital earlier, and I forgot it. I didn't have.
And I want to incorporate an AI character somehow.
Yeah.
Because I want to create an AI I can interview as a guest too, and it would be a good chance to introduce it to the world.
Let me see here. I got to think about it. I had a really good idea for the movie thing. Like when I was at the doctor's office, I forgot what it was now. I'll think of it again.
Okay.
Oh, I just figured something out. You can edit your headlines during the stream because I just removed the headline Paul and Slave put for me for the last StreamYard. So you can so you can just change your display name and the headline midstream using the 3 dots.
Oh button. Yeah, I knew that.
Oh, okay. Well, I just figured it out.
Because some guests come on and play around with theirs.
Interesting.
Oh, I have a whole bunch of stuff I gotta like. I went to the streams every day. I guess I sort of have work to do today in addition to like laundry and stuff and like house stuff. Hopefully I can get. I friggin' fell again last night.
What?
Yeah, I fell again.
Just at your house?
What?
At your house?
Yeah, just at my house. Yeah, I was going. The baby was crying. I woke up to go check on her, and I lost my balance, and I fell on this plastic like drawer thing, like on my ribs, and it's like hurting really bad. And I thought about going to the ER. I was still going to go to the ER while I was up there at the hospital. But of course, then I went in the middle of the stream. But then also, when I went into the ER, I went into the door and like I saw like the whole waiting room was just like full. It was like there was basically like a line. So I was like, no, I'm not spending 12 hours at the ER just for like some rib pain. If it was cracked or something like that, I would be in a lot more pain than I am. So I'm not. I think I just bruised a rib. And it's not even. It hasn't even. I haven't even shown. It's not even showing any bruising. So if it keeps hurting me tomorrow, maybe I might go back to the hospital. But I did not want to sit at the hospital for 12 hours again for nothing. Like for them to like give me a couple of Tylenol and tell me to go home. I just didn't want to do that shit. But yeah, I got all the stuff like that same guy that gave me this stuff. Like when I talked to him some more, he was like this. He used to work for Google, and he got a job in Korea, and he's moving from the States to Korea, And like he basically gave me like these. I was like, man, you sell me some of these tubs because he had a bunch of storage tubs that were empty. And he was like, well, there's stuff in them. He's like, but you know, you can have the tubs, man. I'm out of here, and like I have to leave like tomorrow. So he gave me all these tubs, and like the tubs like had like he gave me like this tub that's full of those Pyrex bowls with like the lids on them. I gotta see if I can like sell those or something like that, because like I think like I looked on like Walmart, those things cost like $20 each. So
Okay, so you can
let's
probably sell them for like $10 plus shipping on eBay easily.
or something like that. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'll see if I can do something with that. And like I've got and he gave me a bunch of like brand new cookware and stuff like that I don't really need, but like you know I see if I can do something with it. Like at least maybe some income from it. I don't know. I'll give it to my mom for Christmas or something. She'd probably like it.
That works. I have plenty of cookware, so I really don't need it. Just I have a couple cast iron skillets and a couple more cast iron grill skillets and a couple mixing bowls and everything else I need to get rid of. Maybe I have a couple woks. Maybe I'll keep some maybe a couple stainless steel things other than woks, but most of the stuff I need to still throw away. Too much stuff.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like I would keep the stuff if like I might actually take some of my old stuff and like just replace and swap out some of the new stuff with it. It looks like really nice stuff. It's all Cuisinart and like it's all name brand nice stuff. It looks like I don't think it's ever been used. I was like, dude, why is all this stuff brand new?
Yeah, probably swap his stuff for your stuff, just upgrade it, then get rid of the stuff you have. That's a brilliant idea. Since he wasn't using it.
Yeah, I have too much stuff in this house. I gotta get rid of so much stuff. If you guys, and by the way, like if either one of you guys, especially, I told this to like, I've told this like, I mean, like you know, for you know normies or whatever out there, if they want to buy something off my Poshmark, you know that you know they pay. But if you guys see anything on my Poshmark you guys want, just let me know. I'm just trying to get the stuff out of the house. So like, please, if you see something on there you think you'd like, man, just let me know. And like, I mean, you can even just go on the Poshmark just to save the shipping, so we don't have to pay the giant shipping fees. You can just like offer $1 for it, and I'll just accept the offer, and then it'll just like you just pay shipping. Because shipping.
How do we scroll to it? That your Posh what?
Poshmark. I'll put the link up.
Okay.
It's just like an app where you can sell clothes and stuff, and I that's where I ran a store on Poshmark for like 2 years until the point like right before the pandemic I was actually in the process of opening an actual physical store with it and then the shutdowns happened, so I canceled all that and everything, because obviously I wouldn't be able to open the store with that, and then everything just got worse from there. But where is the fucking?
So you canceled that before you canceled the Poshmark before the pandemic, before you got Vertigo?
Yes, this was before. Yeah, it was way before Vertigo. It was like right before the lockdowns and everything happened. Like I'd been doing this. I did the Poshmark thing had gone so well, and I was making a lot of money from it for a while. And then to the point where I was like, well, there was this tiny little just corner shop thing that was right around the corner from here. I talked to the owner, and it wasn't too expensive, and Lindsay had lost her job, so I was like, well, Lindsay can run the shop, and because I was still working for Amazon, I was going to take some of the because I had so much merchandise, and then after that happened with the pandemic, I had to move everything to the storage unit, and then like a month after that, there was like a big rainstorm, and our storage unit flooded, and ruined about half of all of my merchandise. So, but about half of it's still fine. I mean, wasn't even touched. But then just a couple of the plastic tubs and boxes and stuff I had, and you'd think that there would be some sort of like insurance or something like that they would have, for in case like their fault.
They probably sell it separate if they offer it. Probably not.
No, they actually it's actually their insurance is included, but the one thing it doesn't cover is water damage. Weirdly enough, so yeah.
How convenient.
How convenient, exactly. Yeah, and they didn't tell me that until I went through like all this. I filled out all this shit, and like it was waiting on like I thought it was gonna get like at least like a small like tiny settlement from it, and then they're like, oh, this is water damage. We don't cover water damage, and I was like, why did you why have you been talking to me? I mean, I said water damage a bunch of times, and like they're like, oh, I can show you right here in our terms of service and everything, and like, it was so annoying. I was really mad. Yeah, it ruined like thousands of dollars of shit. I had like, because most of the stuff I have is designer, and yeah, and most of it was new, just without tags. I was getting it from like warehouse deals. Like, where is the thing? Where can I?
I probably would sue them in small claims at least.
I thought about it, but like when I looked over the terms and service agreement, it was pretty ironclad. There wasn't any way to get around it. There it is. Are you going to put it in private chat so you can click on it? There. I got a bunch more stuff putting up on there tonight, but
yeah, for me, I kind of don't care what the agreement says. I'm saying you lost my stuff. You gotta make good, do something. So
yeah, that's what I thought. I thought that for a minute, but I didn't have money for a lawyer. So anyway,
you don't really need a lawyer in small claims.
Yeah, small claims you don't. That's like the Judge Judy style of justice.
I see. Well, I didn't know it at the time, and plus, and it was right around that time that all that stuff happened. Is when I went into that was when like the psychosis started. That's when all the bad stuff really started happening. So I was too distracted with like my life to care that much. It just seemed like one more thing on top of it. So.
I understand.
I mean, there's a lot of women's stuff. There's a lot of men's stuff too. So.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I wish I had something more to say. I feel like really blank right now. All I've done is gone to the doctor today and just was at the doctor for a long time. That's the main thing I've done today.
Well, is there a topic you want to talk about? I mean, we never have to stream any particular length, so.
I know. Well, let's take a look at the news or Twitter or something. Let's look around. Let's just go.
Yeah, let me look. I haven't been on it in a while. I might have bookmarked a few tweets. Let me see. I played with it on the plane the whole time, but I didn't really.
You were on the plane?
Yeah, I'm in Louisiana right now.
Oh, okay.
For the next 2 weeks.
You couldn't tell that he wasn't in his normal place?
No, I couldn't.
Oh. Nah, it's mostly like Israel stuff.
Really?
There's the Osama bin Laden letter.
Osama bin Laden letter?
Yeah. So
yeah,
Zoomers made a TikTok for Osama bin Laden. I didn't watch it at all.
It's a letter that's attributed to Osama bin Laden that he wrote like after 9. It's like saying all the things wrong with America, and it's somehow got resurrected, and people are like it's fueling anti-Americanism. Like they're like it's kind of like the Unabomber's manifesto. Everybody reads it.
Yeah, exactly like it.
How insightful.
Manifesto.
And the Woco Distance has the whole thread breaking it down, and he uses criticisms from both the right and the left. Woco calls it perhaps the most brilliant piece of propaganda that he's ever seen, and he uses the language of the right to appeal to the right, like America's social morality, gambling, homosexuality, sexual immorality, etc. And then he uses complaints that resonate with the left as well, like poisoning nature, stealing oil, harming the poor, occupying other nations. So it's made to capture both extremes and get them like feel the anti-American sentiment.
You know, I probably should read it just so I could see.
And at the bottom of it all, like he lays out all the things wrong with America, and then at the bottom, after he does that, he puts it all at the feet of the Jews.
Why is it not? I don't get. Why would it be the Jews' fault?
Because they need a common enemy. That you need a scapegoat.
That's probably the wrong call to action. He should said you fix it by comparing to Islam. That would
Well,
have
no, that's what he's trying to further. This is coming from Osama bin Laden. He's not going to put it in Islam.
he doesn't want. Osama bin Laden wouldn't want the America to
He's
convert to
using
Islam.
Islam as the correct true path. Like he's getting his moral authority from Islam and
Yeah.
saying, from this point of view of Islam, we have the right way. And this is all, from that point of view, here's what we see wrong with America. And here's the cause of all of it.
Hey, Liberty. Haven't seen you in a minute, man.
Yeah, we haven't seen you in a while. I'm sure we never see you again.
Yeah, feel free to come on, man.
I didn't even know about that he put out this. I didn't hear anything about it back in the day.
Me neither. There's probably all kinds of stuff to mine that happened. Everyone forgot about. So
I remember the country being more or less unified after 9/11 until the WMD thing started.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, everybody's all pro America for a while, but then there was like all the war crimes and this and that, and George Bush actually handled his immediate response to 9/11 was pretty damn good. I think he came out with a sense of, he seemed compassionate and strong about it, and it's like the only time I think George W. Bush.
What is that?
I don't know.
That was my phone.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That was the only time I think I ever saw W. Bush actually he seemed like he was actually in the campaign stage he was pretty it was like, I really do believe George W. Bush was dyslexic. I think that was his main thing. I think every time he got in front of a teleprompter, he'd start bumbling and saying the wrong things. I mean, his politics or whatever, but in terms of optics, I think that's the thing that really killed him, because like I don't think there was really I don't really think he was stupid. I think he was dyslexic and he couldn't read off the fucking teleprompter for shit. Anytime he was talking off the cuff, he didn't sound like that,
I was not a Bush fan, but when Trump got elected, I would have done.
I wasn't a Bush fan either. I'm just saying. I'm thinking from an optics. I wasn't a fan of Clinton either. I wasn't a fan of Obama.
I was a fan of Clinton until he did the "Don't Ask, Don't Tell" thing, and then the Monica Lewinsky, and that's where I lost Hillary too. When Hillary took him back, I was done with her at that point. I lost so much respect for her.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was. I don't know. It was just everything about it. I don't know. But Clinton always seemed slimy to me. He always seemed like he always had that slimy politician like ooze to him. I don't really remember much before Clinton, though. I mean, I
registered to vote for Clinton. That was my first time voting. I was like 20. I just turned 22, and that was my first time ever voting.
I'll give a synopsis of the call. It was just worth calling. Call me for help because a few people called off. I think they were close to being needing help because those outbound shifts were not even showing up on my app. But I was told that they were staffed enough those days, and we just a bunch of people called off. The thing is, I'm not required to go in because they're understaffed, so I probably won't.
Okay. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
What's up? How y'all been?
All right, man.
Pretty good.
Oh, and shout out to Summer too. Thanks for joining us, Summer.
Hey, Summer. What's new, Kami?
Oh, just
comrade.
Oh God,
comrade,
I used to fucking call people comrade. I mean, I still do sometimes. It's a useful term of endearment. I mean,
probably not.
No, it used to be ironic. It's like how I used to say bro. Okay, I used to say bro ironically. Then years later, I say it unironically all the fucking time. And I promise. When I was younger, I promised myself I wouldn't use as much slang, and then I grew up. It turns out slang is really useful.
Can anyone avoid it? I think adults still.
Negative.
No,
unless you have a
definitely
stick up your ass.
Yeah, basically. When I was a kid, I did have a stick up my ass though, so it fits.
Slang
So
is
did
just
I.
language. Slang is just language. I mean, like over time, things like even things we consider slang these days, they become part. They become normal parts of language. I don't see what the difference is, except for they're just newer words. Really, I mean, I don't really see what the difference is.
I think part of it has to do with the way that we're taught grammar. At least the way I was taught grammar in school is very. I don't think we're actually taught about what language is when we're younger, which is fine actually. I don't necessarily think that every uh, grammar class should be a class on I don't know, my weird uh, uh, social prescriptions, even if they're correct.
What if they're not social prescriptions, but just formal structure?
Well, that's the problem is, I mean, formal structure is good. I do think it's important that eventually we learn about how our language works in
Yeah.
a
Like every
in a
language has a structure, and if you're just teaching,
not just the structure, but like I do think that we should be teaching people more how the language works as like how language works as like a it, not just from like, oh hey, here's the structure, but like what is language?
do we even know?
Well,
There's
it's like a philosophy thing. It's something that you talk about and have arguments about, but
yeah.
it's not an objective thing. Or well,
And
there are parts of it that can.
it's the thing you can't talk about or have arguments about without language. So
I mean that is true. It's
it is essential. I mean, I mean, even though animals and stuff do have some communication, like they theorize that maybe dolphins have some kind of language or things like that. But I mean, like, but the way it's not just language, but it's
oh
our ability to recall and our ability and the sense of history we have behind our words and everything like that. The way we attach emotions and memories and everything to our language is what separates us, I think, from animals more than anything else, in my opinion.
I I agree to some degree. I will say I do. My personal belief is that the thing that is like the fundamental separator is the idea of self awareness. That's I
Well,
think
yeah.
what sentience is at least.
Although it is arguable, and I've heard it argued,
Mhm.
and it's kind of part of the argument of one of my favorite movies, Arrival, is
I love that movie.
right, right. The movie's
I love that
amazing, right? The movie's
movie's
amazing,
great.
and like, but I think that's kind of one of the things it kind of suggests is not just that, like, just that language, the language can not just rewire your brain, not just around time, but I think language is possibly what wires us for self consciousness, even. I think, like, I'm not sure self-conscious self-awareness is possible without language to some degree.
I That's true. I do
I mean, it's kind of a chicken or the egg kind of thing, though.
yeah, and also like we have to remember like what we're talking about is very specifically life as we know it, um, which is a as far while we don't know that life can exist in other ways, it's entirely possible that it can, and it could work a billion different kind of ways that we have no idea about. We're just talking about how life, I guess, works here on Earth as far as we can tell, and as sentience works on Earth creatures as far as we can
Yeah,
tell.
as far as we can tell, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
Chris, it came first. It came first.
Oh
Okay.
shit! My battery's. I'm not plugged in. I just realized it. I gotta go plug my computer in. Hang on.
Oh
I'll be
shit!
back. Keep talking.
Okay.
Yeah. um. Uh. mm, I. I mean, actually, the the chicken came for well. I guess not the chicken. The ancestor to the chicken came before the chicken.
Dinosaurs like that before chickens existed.
That some dinosaurs did.
Yeah.
I don't think all of them, or did they? No. Is that a defining feature of dinosaurs? Laying eggs? I don't know.
No, it's not.
I know a lot of them did.
But the eggs definitely came before chickens did. And the first chicken was in an egg.
Well, where did that egg come from?
The pre-chicken.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
But then where did the pre-chicken come from?
From a pre-chicken?
Yeah.
I
mean, now we're just having look. All right, we can go down the evolutionary tree.
Yeah, that's one of those things. Like that's I mean, that's the way I always say. Like, look, I'm not a creationist or anything like that. But I do think that at a certain point, when it comes to like theories on like the origins of life and everything else and the origins of the universe, at a certain point, there's as much faith involved in believing in the Big Bang as there is in believing in God. It's just, I mean, like I see there's a lot more logic and a lot more underpinning behind the Big Bang and everything. I'm not saying that I don't think that it's real. I'm just saying, but you do have to take a leap of faith at some point, because there gets to a point where it's just like, well, we don't know, and so therefore there is faith involved on some degree in that. It always bothers me about because it's not hard science. We have no way of replicating it.
The real bespoke position is to believe in both the Big Bang and God. All right.
Yeah, that's the one I have.
I agree with that.
And I'm a polytheist at that, so I believe in pretty much all non-contradictory gods.
I also think it's very possible that the idea of guided evolution or something like that is very possible as well. I don't think that I don't think that the ideas of intelligent design necessarily mean like a guy in a cloud, like putting people and animals together and putting them like toys on a thing. I think you can have you could theorize there's some sort of force in the universe that kind of like does kind of guide things, or a guiding principle of some sort. But I don't know. I mean, it's not something that I'm necessarily like, I'm not committed to either way. But
it's not so much an engineer designing a building as it is a mad scientist designing a Rube Goldberg machine that no one fucking understands and doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
I got timed out, so I missed.
Oh shit!
Where
you
are
just
the
talking about
conversation.
evolution.
Oh, okay. I thought wait, evolution's a root. You were on language at first, so.
Well, it was. It kind of went into God and the Big Bang and evolution, that sort of deal.
We're just saying, because he was saying like the egg came first, and we were saying like just we can keep going back and back and back until
evolution makes way more sense than.
I agree.
Well, then creationism, yeah. Well, it depends on. Actually, I mean, yeah. The big problem is that a lot of, at least as someone who grew up in an evangelical church, I hung around. The main one of the big organizations here, Answers in Genesis, who are like, they're fucking nutso. Okay, they think stupid, crazy shit. Okay, like. They were like invited to my church. They like taught us stuff. And those guys are wacko. those guys don't have all the screws loose, all the screws tight in their head. They'll say some pretty out of pocket stuff. If you ever have y'all ever heard of the Creation Museum?
Oh, the one in
Kentucky.
The art
you
part,
been there?
yeah.
No, I've been the one in Texas. I haven't been the one in Kentucky.
Oh God, the one in Kentucky
cool.
it's it does from the outside until you realize they didn't actually build a big boat. They built a facade of a big boat, and then over top of like it's a regular building that has a boat facade on it, not an actual boat. Which
that would make it much cooler if it was a big boat.
Yeah. I mean, how could Noah do it if we can't do it with a whole bunch of contractors and modern technology?
I mean, for what it's worth, if you want to talk about like great feats of engineering of humans in the past, oh, don't worry, humans a long time. Like the pyramids are really fucking old.
Yeah.
So a long time ago.
Mounds are older.
We built a pyramid before, the Luxor.
Yeah.
So we built pyramids.
That's one of the craziest facts that were learned from a video game and I guess it was something I probably learned in school too, but it didn't hit me until like I was playing Assassin's Creed Origins, the one that's set in Egypt, and like there was like one of the little screens in between, after you die or something like that said like that there was more time between the building of the pyramids and the time of Cleopatra where the game is set than there has been between Cleopatra and now.
Yep.
And that's insane.
Actually, it's not even just that there's a longer. It's not even just like, oh, it's like 100 to. It's
No,
it's
lot.
1,000 years.
Yeah, 1,000
okay,
years.
Cleopatra is 1,000 years closer to us than
Yeah.
the pyramids.
Yeah.
Like
Insane.
fucking
It's so
wild
insane.
shit. I've also been like on a kick of like learning about specifically like the Bronze Age and like the Bronze Age collapse and that kind of stuff. That stuff is also crazy. Like the amount of shit humans have been doing for near on 10,000 years. Like
and all that Machu Picchu stuff and all those I can remember the other site that what Graham Hancock and everything talks about. Like I mean I don't necessarily agree with all Graham Hancock shit, but like the actual archaeological sites he's talking about are fascinating.
Have you all heard of Göbekli Tepe?
Yes. Yeah, that's one I'm talking about. Yeah. That shit's older than anything.
Yeah, it's the oldest discovered religious site. I think is how it.
Or oldest discovered site. Period. Oldest discovered like the site of like humans constructing a civilization type thing.
Is that the thing in Turkey?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't Turkey or Syria?
I can't remember. I think it's one.
I mean, it probably wasn't Turkey
around there. Yeah, no. It was. I mean, back then that was just Anatolia.
9,500 to at least 8,000.
It's insane.
That's fucking crazy. I also saw there was an archaeological dig on the first battle in Europe, the presumed first battle in Europe, which happened in like fucking Denmark. There's like it happened at like a river crossing, so like all of the artifacts they found were like scattered downriver. It was actually like really interesting to see how, and that like actually helped preserve some of the items. It was actually interesting.
What caused that kind of leap in civilization? Was it aliens? Like from hunter-gatherer to agrarian to Göbekli Tepe?
I mean, there's a lot of things that have been postulated.
I'm sure it was nerds.
To some
nerds
degree.
had to have been involved.
A big thing people believe is that it actually had to do with the changing climate, because like humans have been agricultural in different degrees for thousands of years before we sort of like left the hunter-gatherer, and it's only really until the climate began to shift and began to get warmer that you started to have more and more people actually farming, because suddenly it's a little warmer, and you don't have to rely on these sort of like more, I guess, hardy plants that are more difficult to grow. Suddenly the weather is just better for fucking growing shit after thousands of years. And so you have like this explosion of farmers coming from like Greece and Turkey moving north into Europe is what happens. And they basically everyone there who's living there is mostly living hunter-gatherer societies, and over the years they just all assimilate, because it turns out that farming is more efficient for getting food than hunter-gathering. Yeah.
And what really freaks me out, I think, about like when you think of like the length of time you go back to Göbekli Tepe and all that shit like that, and all these new sites they found that are all so old and everything. It's like, is this how did it take humans that long to figure out electricity?
I mean,
seriously, like how did it take us that long to figure? I mean, because it's not like it's because like most of the stuff that we, the industrial age and everything. It's not like we didn't have groups of humans that were big enough. It's not like we didn't have the ability to build structures that were insane and all this other stuff. So like, why was it that hard for us to figure out electricity? Because we knew how they've even found like the Baghdad battery and stuff like that. So they knew how to generate it somewhat. I mean, why did it take that long? I mean, because like as soon as we figured out electricity in like the last 3 centuries, like everything accelerated so quickly, and yet but for thousands of years before that, like nobody just
Ben
just
Franklin wasn't born yet. There's just
There we go. I mean, like, that is like a funny, very like blasé way of saying it, but like, it's kind of true. Like, the point is that there was just nobody born yet who was gonna have that, I guess, particular scientific revelation. I guess one might argue that the fundamentals hadn't been built up enough yet.
I mean, I'm just saying that humans are clearly smart enough to do quite a few complicated things.
Yeah, we are.
To create navigation and to navigate like we now know that we had boats much older than they thought for a long time, and
way older boats.
Yeah, and they were navigating to all these different places, and like they were and surviving and all this stuff. So it's not like people weren't smart enough to do this stuff. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it was just like our brains just hadn't evolved enough to figure out. But it seems like electricity, like the way like basic circuits work, isn't that different from a lot of other older technologies in a lot of ways. And it just blows my mind, like how it's like it just how that didn't happen before. I don't get it.
The fundamentals is kind of hard to pick up. It doesn't surprise me because how electricity works is so weird. In fact, it doesn't. Well, it interacts with the field rather than the wire, but it needs a wire to to speed up the effect. So it's weird.
Well, but also, like, I mean, it's not. I mean, ancient humans.
We lose you?
Oh, yeah. You cut out. I remember this happened last time.
Well, he's muted now, but yeah, but I wasn't making a conspiracy comment earlier. It was just a Bill Hicks bit. He talks about puppet on the right, puppet on the left.
Well, be careful what bits you make around conspiracy theorists.
Well, I mean, I guess it is a conspiracy-ish bit, but I mean, he wasn't talking about conspiracies.
Yeah, but there are people that believe that both parties are captured, and it doesn't really matter who you vote for. They're all working for some higher agenda than the individual.
Yeah, there are people that believe that. But I mean, I think, but on the more practical level, it's more like people believe like that they're all kind of beholden to money and stuff like that. And that's where.
I mean, they are, but there's not just one person pulling the purse strings. They're not all marching to the same, like puppeteer, if that's the case.
It's not just one person pulling the purse strings. No, but I mean, it's.
Yeah, I definitely believe politicians are influenced by money, and probably more than by like work in the interest of donors more than their constituents. But I don't call that a conspiracy theory.
That's
why just politics.
Which is why I'm saying I wasn't making a conspiracy reference. I was making a reference to just
because puppet makes it sound like there's people like I have a friend that believes in the Opus Dei conspiracy that the Federalist Society deliberately put people from the Opus Dei on the Supreme Court, and that they're all like their rulings are all being controlled by this Opus Dei organization, and they're puppets of Opus Dei.
Okay. I was about to say,
and that it's a conspiracy.
Yeah, that is a conspiracy. Now, it is not a conspiracy to not like that there are a bunch of Federalist judges.
Right.
But
that this was orchestrated and planned, and they are all coordinating and working in unison.
I mean, I'm sure some of them had like support from the same kinds of people. I'm sure, but like that's not a conspiracy.
There might be small C conspiracies that happen along the way of like actual just people just like literally conspiring to do this or that, but not in a big overarching like puppet masters at the top like pulling the strings and everybody.
And that's what when y'all say puppet, that's what I think of. People are.
I meant a much more small world. I mean, just like I said, it's a Bill Hicks bit, and when Bill Hicks talking about, he's not talking about a conspiracy either. He's just saying that like at the end result is usually the same. Doesn't matter if you vote Republican or vote Democrat. It's still war. There's still wars. There's still this stuff and like that. And I mean, I'm just saying it's just
Well,
it's just
that's because that's in human nature. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
no politician is gonna. You can put the right people in office and suddenly there's no more war.
Well, I mean, no, but
No.
there are definitely we have definitely had presidents who were better about things than other presidents. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think our like war policy has been 100% perfect.
And you think it matters? Like Democrats have a different war policy than Republicans. So the war policy, but that's
No, not really. I mean, it kind of depends. Like Democrats broadly are where you're going to find, like, for instance, the opposition to things like the Iraq War. Like Republicans won't be anti-Iraq War. The politicians won't, like, broadly. Can you name any? I can't.
I don't know because I didn't really.
Ron Paul.
get into the Iraq War.
Ron Paul.
Ron Paul is.
But currently, like if we were pulled
Not
into
a
a
Republican.
war, like on behalf of Israel or something, would there not be some Republicans that would oppose it? I don't know. Honestly.
Probably not.
Because I don't know if people know this, but the Republican Party is not unified like it used
Oh,
to be.
no,
There's
I know,
definitely
but,
a
like,
split happening.
Yeah. The issue is then, like, how, I guess, like, what is the split? Because I feel like I know what the split is. The split is that there is a portion of the Republican Party that wants to push further towards fascism
That's
I think
correct.
they're the minority.
desperately. I mean,
Yeah.
no. They are actually they are They are
Just like there's a faction on the left that wants to push for communism.
Yeah, but Liv, you are correct. In fact, I left Republican Party because they wouldn't. Their subsets were getting power. They wouldn't actually govern. So I actually left the Republican
yeah,
Party.
I mean, that's fascists are known for a lot of things. Good governance is not one of them.
Yeah.
Is it Trump? Is it split along the support for Trump?
Yes.
It is the Trump. Yeah. People who are the pro-Trumpers are the usually the more explicit, bigger fascists.
Yeah.
Rather than like
there are people that are pro-Trump that are not fascist.
that is true. It's really hard to, like.
Are there any fascists
that,
that are
though.
not pro-Trump?
Yes, absolutely.
Because there's true hardcore fascists don't think Trump is nearly authoritarian enough.
I mean, it depends. So, like,
they want someone a lot more hardcore than him.
Usually, it's more Nazis that don't like Trump than like normal fascists. And
so when you say Nazis, because there's no Nazis in America,
they are
specific
neo-Nazis.
party. So
specifically, what I'm talking about is a fascist who is their specific thing. The thing that they're focused on is anti-Semitism primarily.
Well, they should go join the left right now.
Yeah, really.
I mean, go
to a pro-Palestine rally.
Yeah.
I'm sure you think that.
Well, they were chanting the same things.
No, they weren't.
They're trying different things.
From
but they come to
the
same
river to the sea.
conclusion. That makes no sense to
I've
me.
seen the rallies. They were all about their chanting to the river to the sea.
Yeah. But yeah. But
they don't.
I'm a neoliberal right now. I identify as a neoliberal right now. I was pro-Trump till January 6th when he was losing me. He was slowly losing me.
I mean, that's honestly like.
I was never pro-Trump, but that indictment sealed it for me.
Unironically, Hank, like, that's props to you. I unironically appreciate your perspective. Like, don't think I've met another Trump supporter who January 6th was the tipping point.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was anti-Trump way before, so.
Yeah, I was about to say. I mean, like a Trump supporter, not like a liberal who suddenly, like, after January 6th is like actually anti-Trump, or like super anti-Trump, I guess. You know, like my dad is like very much like a neocon kind of guy, and he was fine with Trump in 2016, but after January 6th, he just like it's a total shift.
Yeah. See, I have to prove it.
Why don't you wear it?
Jesus.
I
Because
never
I'm
see
not
you in
pro
that
Trump
hat.
anymore.
Oh,
I don't see
Because
like
he can't
January.
govern.
I want
He
to
can't
make.
govern. I don't want him in charge. In fact, he should go to jail.
Yeah.
Because
I want to make America gay again.
Yeah, let's
up the
go.
rules. You can't. If you don't have enough power, you have to follow the rules, or you can end up like Donald Trump. You could be in jail.
I
And he
mean,
didn't.
If
he
they
didn't
do
follow
it right,
through
if
with
they
Hillary
can
jail.
prove what's in that indictment.
look, Hank, you are, if anything, if nothing else, you are definitely proving that you are very much neoliberal. I appreciate it.
Yes.
I was already anti-Trump from the beginning because I always saw Trump as like I don't know. I grew up seeing Trump on television. I saw him as like the evil land developer in every children's movie I grew up with. You know, he's
Right.
like the slimy businessman character that like I watched the Apprentice season 2 with like the director I worked with on this movie we made, and like I watched that whole season and like I never warmed up to Trump the whole time. I hated the show itself was actually kind of entertaining except for like the parts of Trump. And every time he was on the screen, I was just like, God. I always thought his personality was just obnoxious. But as soon as I saw the way he was running his campaign, I remember thinking like, oh God, this guy, he's going to troll himself in the way he's going to troll himself into the White House.
Mhm.
And he fucking did it. He did.
Yeah.
He trolled himself in the White House because the media did not understand that you don't feed trolls, and all they do is feed the fuck out of him. They've made that man
Oh
so
my
fucking
God.
fat.
Stuffed him fat.
Yes.
And
yes.
oh my God, and they fucking tried to push Hillary goddamn fucking Clinton. Like
Yeah,
it's so
She was not appealing though. Like,
no.
If they hadn't pushed Trump so hard, if they hadn't given him so much attention, she might have won. But they just wouldn't stop giving Trump.
I don't know. I think if she
I
had
don't
ran a
know.
better campaign, there might have been a chance too.
I'm not sure if a better campaign would have. Well,
Or
it probably
better
would.
candidate too.
I was going to say better candidate.
Yeah.
110% because Hillary Clinton is like
I was
not a good
I voted
candidate.
for her, but I held my nose to do it.
I mean, they knew she was a bad idea back in the two election cycles before that, because remember she was running the same
Against
time that
Obama.
Obama ran,
Yeah.
and they backed Obama and not her, and which I'm sure pissed her the fuck off, right?
Even though like Obama is just objectively like a better choice.
Yeah.
No, he was, but he's still a neocon.
Oh,
But,
no, absolutely.
I mean, he didn't do anything, or a neolib or neocon, whatever.
Yeah,
you
was a
wanna call it.
neolib.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he was more of a neolib.
He was as pro-war as anybody else could be.
Oh,
and
110%. Well,
But-
after his campaign began, during his campaigning, and especially early on in the campaigning, he actually, I've looked at some of the early stuff, and it is relatively progressive.
He was great. He was a great speech giver.
Oh, yeah.
He was great giving speeches. He was great at saying a lot of things and not saying. He was great at speaking really well and not saying very much too.
Who, Obama?
Like a lot of his early speeches don't really say
that's
very
when
much.
he came on my
Really
radar.
pretty,
I heard him on the radio one day, and I thought I was listening to Martin Luther King. I'm like, who is this guy speaking?
Yeah, he's got this. He's really charismatic, and he's got this great, like, you know. I mean, because like in the early days of Obama, I was on board with Obama for a little while, but
I voted for him.
over time, and like, especially there was this moment in the campaign early on where there was this thing like there was this controversy that came out about the church that he went to. The pastor there had said a bunch of like,
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
yeah,
The
he said a bunch of
chickens are coming home to roost.
and then Obama's response to that was so eloquent and so well done that it kind of put me on his side for a while. But then as I was following him, the more I listened to him, the more I was like, but he's not saying anything of substance. He's not actually speaking about what he's going to do. He's talking about a lot of like big platitudes and a lot of this and that. And like, which ultimately just led me to not really support him. I wasn't really against him, but I didn't really support him. I certainly didn't support Romney. Was it who went against him?
John
McCain.
It was McCain and Romney. Were those two of the people?
I was for John.
McCain was 2008 and Romney was 2012.
I'm not gonna lie. I supported Ron Paul just because Ron Paul, at least, even if I didn't agree with everything he said, that man had integrity.
Okay, that's fair.
never shifted. He never shifted a bit. And I have respect. And I feel the same way about Bernie too. I thought Bernie was like, even though I don't necessarily agree with Bernie on a lot of things, but I thought Bernie at least had integrity until like what happened in the last election, whenever he just like suddenly decided to bow out and pour all his fealty towards Biden and just turned into a complete shill. I just like that. I just lost all respect for Bernie.
Bought Bernie out.
Because I was like, even though I wasn't a Bernie bro, I wasn't like a big Bernie supporter, but I had respect for the man. I had respect for him because he had maintained his positions and he had been like a consistent politician for all this time. And so it's like I prefer the devil kind of thing, right? You know, they're like no matter what when you're voting for a politician, you're voting for a politician. They're always going to have something in their closet. There's always going to be skeletons in the closet. There's always going to be something dark about them that's going to be bad. At least like somebody who's consistent, you can kind of trust. I felt like, but then Bernie he just turned into a different. As soon as he became an actual millionaire and he started changing his talking points from the millionaires and billionaires to the billionaires and trillionaires. That fucking man, that really rubbed me the wrong way. I was just like, I mean, how much more of a fucking like shill could you be? Like, I mean. Yeah, so I get it. You made some money, and now suddenly like the millionaires aren't a problem. Like,
yep.
That's fucking bullshit, man.
Wait, what? Actually, what?
Were you a Bernie bro?
Like,
I'm not like a Bernie bro, so I don't know every single
Bernie
thing.
Sanders always had this thing about like it's the millionaires and the billionaires that are causing all the problems, and then he became a millionaire. And then when that happened, then the next time you heard him speaking like that, he literally changed his language. He no longer said millionaires; he said billionaires and trillionaires.
Do you actually have a couple examples? Not that I don't believe you. I
can find it. I've seen the clips before. Like people like granted, it was from conservative media, but it was video footage of him. I don't think it was AI.
Yeah, no. It's fine even if it's from like a conservative media, as long as they source the things, like. Oh, hey, this video is from 2012. This one is 2014.
Yeah, no, I can find it. I just got to look for it real fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, whenever
I'm a lot more believing that people can be giant pieces of shit, given our current political climate.
Maybe he didn't change it to billionaires and trillionaires. He might just says there's certain billionaires. It might just be billionaires because there are no trillionaires.
Yeah.
So he may not have said billionaires and trillionaires, but he dropped millionaires off of his thing because he was only once he became a millionaire because he sold he became a best-selling author, suddenly, and he became a millionaire, and like which I have no problem with that.
Yeah,
but, the whole thing has been like that millionaires and billionaires are the problem, and suddenly now millionaires are a problem. No, it's just billionaires now, huh?
Okay. I believe you. I'm
looking for it.
Yeah. So Trump.
It is important.
It's hard to find. You can just find
look for it. I'll talk about something else. Keep looking for it. So
okay, yeah, go ahead.
Trump,
go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, so Trump, I vote for him because I knew he was a heel. I thought he was just going to go in there and actually clean house. He went in there and stay on Twitter all day.
I mean, true.
I literally thought he was going to clean house. He was a heel. He was going to, I'm fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. He didn't do that. But he didn't listen to his advisors.
He did it. He
said he had the best people going in, and he says, "Oh, but they reverse people going out." And I thought, since he was running such a huge company, he knew how to run stuff.
Why would anybody think that about Donald Trump? Oh my God!
He got so much money.
Successful businessman.
He had so much money.
I watched him on The Apprentice.
All
you have to do is watch one season of The Apprentice to know he doesn't know.
I was about to say also like Elon Musk also has a lot of money and he's like objectively like just makes bad decisions.
Yes, Elon Musk was easy. Is much easier to see. I mean, Thunderfoot's been debunking him for a decade. So Elon Musk was would be easier for me to see, but he's not. He can't run anyways.
That's fair. I suppose.
God, there are so many clips of him talking. It's so hard to find a clip that I'm
Oh,
really
God.
looking for.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. It's probably actually a difficult. I realized afterwards how like actually difficult. You don't have to do that right now. I will
No,
probably go do some
yeah,
research.
I mean, it's not. It's basically if you look at the pre like most of these things that here are from 2019 election, the 2020 election.
Yeah.
The 2020 election, you'll see there's even a CNBC article where it says that like where it shows like how much less where he talks about how much less he talks about millionaires. He says that he said said the word millionaires barely at all during the whole election. But in the previous election, before he became a millionaire, his catchphrase was millionaires and billionaires all the time. He always
Yeah.
said millionaires and billionaires all the time. And then on the next election, after he became a millionaire, suddenly like it was now. I guess he did say millionaires and billionaires a couple of times, but it seems. But he was. I mean, granted, he's smart enough to realize that he can't really say. He can't talk about
Yeah.
millionaires being the problem
Yeah.
whenever he's a millionaire.
Yeah.
So what's I mean, but that's the thing is like it just kind of undermines his whole point.
Oh yeah, no. That's my anger with this is that ugh, fucking every human being we fucking elect. It's not just like they're regular fucking shit people though. It's kind of infuriating. Like they're
I
fucking
found it-
liars.
I found a 2-minute clip from Think Progress on it from 4 years ago.
Like Katie Porter, who like has railed against corporate PAC money, like that's been her big thing. She took corporate PAC money.
Yeah, I know.
From fucking APAC.
Yep. Yeah, hypocrisy is one of the things, especially. I mean, you should. It's like on one hand, it's like it's expected with politicians, but when a politician like comes out of somewhere and actually seems to have credibility, that's the reason why I still have respect for fucking Ron Paul. Is because that man. Maybe it's because he was never really that successful, but he never fucking sold out. It's like one of my favorite movies is 24-Hour Party People. There's a moment in the thing where like the main it's about this guy that created Factory Records back in the 80s, and Factory Records was like this what spawned Joy Division and New Order and basically rave music in general all came from the Factory Records and like the Hacienda.
Who's the guy?
What's the guy's name?
Is it Martin Hammond? Or
There you go. Yeah, that's okay. Martin. Yeah, so like and like the thing is that the contract he made with the artist, he wrote it in his own blood. He literally pricked his hand and took this this piece, and he wrote in his own blood the contract that he made with all of his artists, which was that the artists own everything, we own nothing, so fuck off. And they framed that, and that was this. And anybody that wanted to sign just had to sign their name in blood on that thing. And that might be true. But anyway, so like there's a point later whenever they're in really bad financial straits, they're trying to sell the company. And then as they're there, they're realizing like, well, see, like our contract with our artists is this, so we don't actually own any of them. And they're like, what? You don't actually own any of them? He's like, yes, but and he's getting really like upset, because he realizes that he has nothing to actually sell to try to save to try to save the company or anything.
Yeah.
And he's like, but let it be known, let it be written on my tombstone that I never sold out.
Just sell the processes. You say you have a suite of proprietary processes and sell that.
Yeah. But this was the early '90s, and like it's a great movie. It's totally worth watching. By the way, it's one of the, especially if you're just interested in like an early interesting time in culture and music and stuff like that. It's fun. It's a hilarious movie too. It's like it's all done kind of like Steve Coogan plays the main guy.
Oh, I love Steve Coogan.
Yeah, he talks to the camera a lot, and like
Hamlet too.
He breaks the fourth wall all the time. And he talks about and even though there was a whole movie about Joy Division, about Ian Curtis and Joy Division called Control, that was okay. It's still the best telling of the story of Ian Curtis and Joy Division that there is, even though it's a small part of the movie.
By the way, are you doing a movie tonight?
Yeah, I guess like I said, I'm probably gonna watch that one movie with Adaptable. But if I don't hear from him, then maybe I'll just put on 24-Hour Party People. That would be I'd like watching that. I'll find something.
Save that one for a day when I can watch it.
Okay.
Because I'm not see it again.
We'll save that one.
So I found a video from Think Progress, Bernie's
I pulled it up.
Problem.
Yeah.
Actually, I should.
It's only 2 minutes long or so. They
Oh, you
progress
want me to show
document
it?
all the dates, the money.
Yeah, we can show
I
that.
can show. If it's 2 minutes, I'll show it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just that they changed. It was the fact that it was the way he bowed out of the race and suddenly was just like sucking Biden's cock, just pissed me off. I just like it's like, I mean, I don't think Biden's like the worst thing ever or anything like that. It was just kind of disgusting to me. Like the how quickly he cucked himself.
Why is it so slow?
If I'm a millionaire,
for millionaires and billionaires.
for billionaires and millionaires,
For millionaires and billionaires. A proliferation of millionaires and billionaires.
when millionaires and billionaires of millionaires and billionaires,
Millionaires and billionaires. Millionaires and billionaires.
millionaires and billionaires, millionaires
Billionaires.
and billionaires, millionaires and billionaires, millionaires and billionaires. This is a budget of the billionaire class, by the billionaire class, and for the billionaire class. More billionaires in his administration. Billionaires. Billionaires and the wealthiest people.
I wanna be a
Billionaires and the
billionaire.
wealthy. A handful of billionaires and other billionaires.
Billionaires.
Allow billionaires, multimillionaires, and billionaires.
Multi-millionaires.
multi-millionaires.
I only have
Oh,
one.
okay, yeah.
If you are a billionaire
This is
or in the top
status.
1%,
We will be an administration for the working families of this country and not for billionaire campaign contributors.
It's
The working class. The working
yeah.
class.
So it's anybody on higher on the status hierarchy than he is.
Yeah.
It even it's
If you
it's
have
so
1
fucking
million, it's
irritating.
okay.
Because like if the rhetoric was the billionaire class, maybe that would be better. But like
but not all
No.
billionaires are the same. Like, you
Because
can't even
millionaires
group
are
them all
in the
into one
1%.
class.
There's
It wasn't
there isn't a millionaire who's not in the 1%. So
Yeah, it was just one of those. It wasn't like I said, like it was never like I was a huge Bernie supporter or anything. So it wasn't like, but still, it's always a little heartbreak for
But
me.
why
anytime-
does that surprise you? You saw him as different from every other human being.
Because he
on the planet.
he was consistent for years and years
Yeah.
and years.
But that's because he wasn't a millionaire.
I guess that's true, but at the same time, I mean, like, I guess, like, it's like almost like, what do you do in that situation? I do agree that there's kind of like this, like, you're in a rock and a hard place kind of thing. Like, well, I mean, but if he really believed in those things, then why wouldn't he take that excess? He could have created a foundation, a charity, or something
But
like that. too.
millionaire
Yeah.
is just a substitute for status. And so
yeah, in
all
fact, I
he's
would
doing is
say
railing at the people with higher status. So when he gets their status, of course he's gonna start like adopt that as his new status and rail against the people higher than that.
I would have said the same thing over again, but I would have said, well, now that I'm a millionaire, I know how bad they are.
I guess part of the thing is that for Bernie, his advocacy has been so long and so consistent that like not that like he was like a perfect person, but like I guess the idea was that hey, on these issues we are agreed in a like ideological way.
Yeah.
That like Bernie was ideologically progressive, like not even like a fucking commie. He was just progressive. Like that's all.
And consistent.
What
And consistent. And that was the thing.
And he was-
what about him was progressive? What specifically? marked
the
him as
man
progressive?
took
I don't
part
know
in,
him. I was always turned
in
off by
civil
his
rights
personality.
protests
Okay.
in like the 70s for queer people.
Yeah.
That's the first time here. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just saying
And
that's
he and
not
he has
what
and
I've
his
ever
and his
associated with.
position on queer people has been consistent, at least consistent / improving actually.
So you're like before Hillary and Obama and all those other people, he was
Yes.
more pro
Yes,
gay.
yes. And he was in. I mean, he was in just like Biden and Ron Paul before him. He was in Congress, or it was in Congress or Senate, but he was Senate. He was a Senate,
Senate,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Ron Paul was a congressman, I think, right?
Ron Paul is Congress, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, they both served for like over 20 years. I mean, they were like long term politicians. These guys had been in the and to his credit, unlike your Nancy Pelosi's out there that like made millions off of stocks and saying from insider trading, basically, he never did any of that shit. And I won't say that him getting him making $1 million from a book, like that's not like. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but the fact that he railed against that as like something that you should be able to do, he made it sound like it was a bad thing to even be a millionaire for all that time, and then he comes one and it's like, oh, it may sound so bad, and now that I'm one, and that's, I mean, if he hadn't had that rhetoric in his repertoire for so long, it wouldn't have bothered me.
But something about you bought into that it's bad to be a millionaire too.
No, I didn't. I just thought
what appealed to you about. Yeah.
No, that's not what compelled to me about him at all.
Oh.
I didn't agree with that either, but I did think he was consistent. Like I said, I had respect for him because for a politician, he didn't.
But you don't know how consistent he is if he's never been a millionaire until you see him become a millionaire. Then you know.
I suppose you're right, and like I didn't. That wasn't something I considered. Yeah. So I mean, now that's a failing on mine.
Yeah, same. I misjudged a lot of people. Like there are people I did like phone banking for.
For Bernie?
No, actually. Oh. It's other smaller Democratic candidates.
I mean, I never, and I wouldn't have. I mean, I don't even know that I would have voted for him, but at least I had respect for him more so than other politicians that were just clearly
because you idealized him.
No, I didn't really. I just thought when I saw from Bernie, I saw consistency, whereas other politicians, I saw them changing their position depending on where the winds blew, and I saw like somebody that did have a consistent position. I didn't like his positions. I didn't agree with him on many things, but I did think that he was consistent. Like I said, the devil in my opinion, is always better. I prefer someone who I think that has a trustworthy kind of like record, that will consistently vote the same way, that will consistently do that. I feel like that as opposed to somebody you face with most politicians, you just never know what they're going to do. It just depends on what the donors say that week, kind of thing. And like that's just, I said like so that's why I said like Ron Paul. It was a consistent politician his entire career until he retired. I mean, and I guess now it doesn't matter if he retires, but I'm just saying he was a consistent politician his entire career, and I respect that because he's the only politician I'm aware of that's like that. I mean, the only other politician I think I respect is maybe like going back in history some, even though I wasn't alive then, but I still like Teddy Roosevelt. Well, that dude was a badass, but
hell yeah,
Teddy Roosevelt,
old TR. I mean, it is kind of also to that note, it does remind me, it is fucking weird how familial the presidency is.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of different families that control it, basically.
Oh yeah, like the Bushes.
The Bushes, the Clintons, the Roosevelts, the Kennedys.
Are there still Roosevelts around?
I don't know if they're still around, but they did.
They're around, but they're not in power.
Yeah, they were in power.
Yeah, not in power anymore, but they're around.
But is that much different than the rest of human history?
Negative.
It's kind of different from modern history.
If they could resurrect Teddy Roosevelt as a zombie, I'd vote for Teddy Roosevelt as a zombie right now.
Oh, I mean, yeah, like 110%. Same with, not gonna lie, same with JFK. But like, most countries don't have. I say most countries. Most Western democracies don't have this problem that we have because they're parliamentary.
Oh.
They have their own problems.
They do have their own problems, but the parliament, I mean, the fact that they are parliamentary means that
the president is less significant of a figure.
Their executives are less significant, though. Their executives are less significant.
You mean like England, like the royal family is basically useless and like they have no purpose, but they're there for some reason?
Oh no! I'm talking about like the prime minister. Their version of an executive is less powerful than the president of the United States, because they have a parliamentary system.
Although to be fair, I don't think our president is as powerful as we think he is. To be honest.
Well,
No,
he's
not.
no.
I mean, I saw that with Trump. He
Yeah,
could
no.
do
They shouldn't.
A lot of the
or
things he tried.
They shouldn't be. It's like they are kind of, but only because we let them be. If we decided to change that, we could.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying. I think that they end up beholden to whatever like interest groups and everything that get them elected, and like what happened to Trump. Trump. I mean, even like I never liked Trump, but like he did have some good positions. I think early on that I think he could have done some good in the country if he had followed.
I
through
loved
with them.
his position on.
Yeah, if he got off of Twitter, and
I mean, I wasn't
did
a
his job, he
fan.
would have got some stuff useful done.
I wasn't a fan of the fact that, like, really early on in his administration, he like pushed really hard for a Muslim ban. That was kind of fucking
Oh, yeah.
wild.
Yeah, that was dumb.
I mean, but
And I
even
didn't
then-
like his trans ban in the military either.
Also true, but
That
that's
was
what you
pretty
get when you get Republicans.
No, I don't know that all Republicans would have done.
I mean,
that.
like, don't ask, don't tell was Clinton. So
That's right. I remember that. That's where he lost my support.
Hmm.
I mean, like, it doesn't. That's not a Republican thing. That was just a cultural norm for the longest time. Was that any kind of queer type of thing was not welcome in the military, and that was coming mostly from a lot of the generals and like the people that was being pushed for by the military people, that they didn't want that because they felt like it was going to somehow compromise them somehow. So
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
gonna like influence morale.
it was gonna sissify the military or some bullshit, some stupid
Yeah.
shit.
The same thing that people say now about trans people in the military.
I would tell them, figure it out. That we're going to do it. Cultures moved.
I
Figure it out.
want good
Get out of here.
soldiers. I don't care what their gender,
I
sexuality,
want
any of that
good
is.
cannon fodder. I want quality people getting shot to death. I don't.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to get shot to death. The other people are, Chris.
We still lose people in our wars. I'm just saying, like, I mean, it's still war. It's still. Granted, we do a lot more drone stuff these days. So, and a lot of
Actually being seriously, I know y'all aren't as like, some of you aren't as anti-imperialist as I am. However,
I mean, I'm not. Pro
Who's being imperialist right now? Currently, the U.S. is not trying to expand its territory. Neither is
okay,
most of the West.
Just Russia.
What countries have military bases, own military bases in other countries?
Oh, U.S. Yes, the military bases in literally every country.
Yeah,
Although-
I support that.
That's imperialism. I'm sorry. Like,
It's not having a military base is not imperial. It's not my
There's a
definition
logical
of
reason.
imperial.
Well, it is. I mean, if China had a military base, here,
and the Romans had a logical reason to base garrisons in Gaul.
yeah.
Yeah.
For their empire.
Hey, Jeff, would you object to China or Mexico having a military base in the United States?
Yes, I would.
Okay, exactly.
Why?
I think it's imperialism. Yeah.
Because I don't trust it. Maybe not Mexico. China, I don't trust China.
Mexico, you would trust Mexico to have
I don't really
base?
think. I don't have an opinion on Mexico. I don't ever think about Mexico.
Okay.
I mean, I trust the Mexican government.
I
mean,
don't.
we have enough Mexicans here in the country.
I am very pro-U.S. I don't have a problem with us having bases.
I don't know that having a
all over the
military base.
world.
I mean-
Does Mexico even have much of a military?
I think we
Really?
more or less use them responsibly to promote our.
I think
values.
Mexico's military is like some old like world Civil War era cannons.
I mean, Jeff, we have used our military responsibly, but that doesn't mean that.
If we start using our bases to start taking over other countries, I might change my position. But that's not.
Well, but the problem is. Okay, hang on. But that's why they're there, Jeff.
They're there to try to create stability. I mean, that is like there's a logical reason for it, even if that's not the real reason. It could be secret. It could be secret shadowy reasons, but
It's not even. It's not
there is a
secret.
What do you
shadowy.
think we're using them? Like, what is your fear?
It's geopolitical influence. That's what.
Yes,
we want, is
I am pro.
geopolitical
I want
power
us
and
to have as
influence,
much
yeah.
geopolitical influence as we possibly can.
Well,
I'm very, very for
So
that.
I am also for that. However, I do think that there are good ways to get geopolitical influence and bad ways to get geopolitical influence, right? Do you agree that there could be
I
moral
would say
and
there are
immoral ways?
effective ways and less effective ways.
Well, sure,
And
but
military bases
I
seem
agree.
to be an
No.
effective way.
They are effective. I'm not disagreeing there. But like, don't you agree though that things you can do to gain geopolitical influence can be either what we would consider to be good, moral, or bad, immoral? Do you agree that
I don't even know
that is
what
a
you mean
quality of those
by
things?
those terms?
Okay.
My
The
criteria
Holocaust
is
bad. Was a bad way for Nazi Germany to gain geopolitical influence. What's
what are some bad ways that the U.S. is doing it that you think?
that?
And the U.S. gets permission to do it. It's not like
Well,
I mean, we do in exchange for favors and for
permission with very heavy quotations.
Yes, but at the same time, we're also giving those countries money.
Yeah, we're paying rent, and then giving.
Yes, we are pointing a gun at them, and we are saying, "We will give you money."
You have such a
and you'll-
dramatic imagination around this.
It's not dramatic. Oh my god, that is the reality of.
We're
of
going
what-
into countries and pointing guns at them and saying, "Give us military."
okay.
bases."
That is, I am being hyperbolic. The point
Well,
is that
that's
we are
my point.
using force, the threat of violence.
We're incentivizing. We're not using. You think we're threatening the
Okay.
countries to give
Yes.
us a military base?
You know what, Jeff? When
I wish we had Joshua Jones up on here.
you know what, and muggers, all they do is incentivize. All they do is incentivize people to give them their wallets.
No,
okay?
but do you think we're using violence? We're going in there and threatening
we
to
are
like,
using the threat of
harm
violence.
these countries in some way if we don't get a military.
Yes,
base?
absolutely.
Actually,
I would need.
Very
I would
much
need to
so.
see examples of that.
Libya.
I don't know that story. What do we do?
We killed Gaddafi.
Just out of the blue?
I thought their own people
Yes.
killed Gaddafi.
See, this is why I need.
Well-
I trust Joshua on this.
Yeah,
If Joshua tells me yes, that's what we're doing.
I saw the video of Gaddafi being killed by his own people.
Yes.
Now that might have been. I'm not saying the U.S. didn't have a hand in that. The CIA has
But
done
killing
many-
Gaddafi is not us going to countries with a gun and saying, "Give us a military base, or we're going to harm your country."
And Gaddafi was a bad guy.
No, I agree.
I mean, Gaddafi was like. I mean, what he was like one of the.
You
most
seem very
anti-gay-
motivated to paint America in some kind of negative light.
No,
Working
it's
really
the light
hard
that
to-
it's the light that it is. I'm just being honest.
America is very complex.
Yeah, it is.
You can interpret it in many. I don't think it's the light and shade is as simple as you paint it, and that's true for any country on the planet. And I would still. What country would you want to be in other than America? Is there a country that's doing it better than you?
Well, okay.
You want to
So
move to Sweden?
being in the imperial core is preferable to being on the imperial periphery.
Okay, then
Just
don't fuck it up.
objective. In that, like, the quality of life, right? There are definitely countries that I think have better political systems. I don't necessarily think they're better places. Also, I'm American. I want America to be better. What the fuck is wrong with you telling
Well,
people
then
to, like?
why are you trying to subvert it with this?
What do you mean
rhetoric?
subvert?
With your rhetoric and hyperbole.
Okay, so I
You
apologize.
don't sound pro-American.
I apologize for being. I am pro-American. I like America. The government. That thing is whatever to me. I don't care what it is as long as it's good. But I do care about America.
Good by your standards of good, and when it falls short of those standards, then you sound anti-American, or at least highly critical of America.
Highly critical of. Yeah, sure, fine. I don't understand what the criticism is of being critical of America.
No, I think we should be critical of our country. I think that's part of the.
I'm just trying to understand the motivation behind the criticism.
To get everyone on the same page about geopolitics. With me about geopolitics.
So military bases, we can do better than military bases. That's old hat.
Like, we can, unironically, we can still have geopolitical influence without the military bases.
Yeah.
Other
do you
countries
suggest?
do that.
I don't. Well, if the countries, to me, that's between us and that individual country. If they don't have a problem having us there,
Well, Okay.
Yeah, I think we should go to military bases.
Are you unaware of the difference?
If you're pro-America, why would having military base, like why would America extending that kind
because
of influence
America
bother
takes
you?
advantage of other countries.
I think.
If you're pro-America, why does that matter? It's your
Because I think it's
country.
bad to take advantage of other countries.
Then that doesn't sound.
I don't think it's bad to take advantage of other countries. I don't think it's bad.
Sorry that my anti.
I think it's idealistic.
Yeah.
We're in a state of nature.
Okay, where's the
in relation to
line?
other
Where's the
countries.
line? If it was, say, in our geopolitical interest to, glass a country, right?
But we're not
There's no
Remove its
line.
population. No, I'm
We've
asking.
only
I'm
done that
asking
in
where the line
information
is.
warfare.
Yes, that is too far. That is too far. I mean,
I did.
if
I'm
we
asking.
use those military bases to really
Do you
invade
have a
countries-
realistic concern that America is going to do? Is that a danger that you see in America?
The
Or is that
genocide
just your-
stuff?
or is that just your imagination? Like,
So
this
I would
is
say
what
there's
could
no
happen.
line, but I don't. I think the military bases aren't that effective. So this I think it's a suboptimal tactic.
Well,
Yes,
maybe
obviously.
there's room for debate around that. I personally don't have. I mean, I can see the advantage of having military bases.
I guess it's weird to me because
But I don't worry that we're going to.
you just said there's not a line. Why?
I didn't. I never said.
I
there's
said that.
not
I said there's no line.
I said that there definitely was a line. Yes.
Yeah,
I think
no.
I think there's a line, but I don't think the U.S. has come close to crossing it for me.
Okay,
Not recently, anyway.
but why?
Like of all the countries in the world, I tend to trust us more than most to not cross the line.
It depends, but kind of. I mean, so the actions of the U.S. military in basically 2010 and onward has been better than it has in the past.
Okay.
On the whole.
Like if you're talking about like the things the CIA has done now on that
that's-
Are you talking about the Iraq War?
I mean, just
Everything the CIA has done ever.
The CIA has overthrown tons of have installed dictators in places just because
But probably for strategic reasons that benefit the U.S.
That's
but those things. Yeah, but in
Jeff.
But if you're pro-America and it benefits us, why are you not prioritizing that over?
I am prioritizing that, but not when we're fucking gut punching other people to do it. Okay, I don't like child slave labor building everything I own.
America's not the only country. Like that's just the modern world.
I'm aware that it's not just America, but that doesn't change the fact that America is a big supporter of those child labor factories.
And I think that's wrong. And I do think
but all the other countries are doing it too. Like, so why are you singling out? You want America to be like a better?
Well, considering that America is
we're a capitalist
the world superpower, yeah, I think criticizing America. In addition, I do criticize other countries for these kinds of things. However, most countries don't have the power and resources that America has to do the things that we do all the fucking time, right? Like, I criticize Russia for being a fucking imperialist power. However, Russia is very shit at it, okay? Russia's not good at being an imperialist power. China is. I criticize China for this as well.
And I really disagree with the deals we have with China. I do not think we should be dealing with China the way, even though it would definitely make our economy worse to some degree. I would be totally fine of us just like dropping all trade with China because like they are a literal communist. Like they literally do all of the worst things that we're supposedly against morally in this country. I agree. I would agree with that. Like, I mean,
if we stop trading with China, we can't have any computers, pretty much.
Well, then that's
Taiwan is where most of our computers are made. So now, if China invades Taiwan, that isn't worth it. That's a real big threat too.
That's a real now for what it's worth, I don't think China's going to invade Taiwan. I don't think they're properly prepared to do an invasion of Taiwan.
And China's dangerous right now. It's not good. It's not good communism.
Oh yeah,
North U.S.
Yeah.
If North of
That's
the
it.
U.S. supports Taiwan, then yeah, the China would have invaded Taiwan and taken it back over a long time ago. They've stated that they want to do this. I mean, they've said it out loud.
Yeah.
But yeah, if in fact the U.S. backs Taiwan, that keeps them from doing that because they don't want it. They don't want a war with the U.S. because that's a mutually assured destruction kind of situation.
Unless they thought they could win it for some reason.
Yeah. But yeah, China's not truly
But I agree
communist,
that
so I'm not
it's
as worried
risky.
about them. They're dangest right now. You have a lot of capitalism in their system.
Well, they are a state capitalist system. That's a
Yeah.
or
Sure.
You could call them fascist.
Do they even call themselves socialists?
I don't. No, they don't
I
call
think
themselves socialists.
I still think they still consider themselves communists to some degree, but yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It's the Democratic Republic of North Korea
murky.
calls itself that too. So
Yeah, I know.
whatever.
I mean, it's definitely when it comes to like, I mean, we have military bases like in places like South Korea and everything, like in order to help protect South Korea from North Korea. That's
our military bases in like actually, especially our European allies. That makes a lot of sense. We are in a fucking defensive pact with these people.
Most of the ones we have, over in the Middle East are mostly for helping to protect Israel. Is most of the reason we're over there. So
yeah,
and our unfortunate alliance with Saudi Arabia, which I'm also against as well. But.
Yep. Wow, the U.S. really loves being best buddies with authoritarian governments. It's
really do.
Israel is a democracy.
No, Israel is. I'm talking about Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
Saudi Arabia.
Like I'm talking. Yeah,
Israel is totally a democracy, and as far as I'm concerned. But
I take it more realistic. Like you want us to be this moral, like live up to this moral standard in a world where none of the other countries are, and we would compromise our own security to do so. Like you have to play the game as it's dealt currently.
We don't know the truth of geopolitics on the ground. The geopolitics on the ground, the reasons for these things, there could be very good reasons and very bad reasons both that we're completely oblivious to.
Yeah,
so,
actually,
I mean,
as I was saying about, for instance, our bases in Europe. I think those make sense, but like we have military bases in places we very much shouldn't. That are not about. Okay. The whole of the fucking Middle East.
No, it's for Israel's defense. We just covered it.
And Saudi Arabia, yeah. We're there protecting our oil interests is what it comes down to.
And poppy interest. And heroin interest.
And poppy interest.
Yeah, we're protecting our oil and heroin interests.
Now, if that came out, I would. That would make me hesitate to support that part of the United States.
If it came out
that the
that
United States has heroin
or...
and opium interest, and we're
good, because I can prove that.
Because that's what they make fentanyl from. I mean, fentanyl is a refined.
But the United States is making the fentanyl.
Well,
if it comes out that the United States government is responsible for the fentanyl epidemic, then yes, I will say that is a lie. I don't want my country crossing.
It's for the pharmaceutical companies so they can continue to produce it. Yeah. I mean,
okay, so it's for positive pro-social reasons.
I mean, if you think fentanyl is a positive pro-social thing, I guess.
You said the pharmaceutical companies to make the medicine to help people.
Yeah, but like we're talking about fentanyl. We're not talking about and opium and I mean, I'm just saying opium is like an early stage that gets refined into heroin, and that gets refined ultimately into.
It's the U.S. government creating heroin and fentanyl for people to use recreationally.
No, they're doing it but it's
that's downstream from their legitimate use of it for medicinal purposes.
Well, inadvertently.
But somehow y'all want to offload that onto the United States, the moral responsibility for. So if you don't want opioids and like legitimate medication.
Well, I think I'm against the legitimacy line, anyways. But yeah, the United States.
I don't understand the reasoning here. They're
because prohibition don't work.
Helping the pharmaceutical companies to create medicine.
But
somehow that's contributing to the.
If it makes anything better, I'm didn't know about the poppy and fentanyl thing. I just know about the oil, and that in itself is enough to.
Well, we need oil.
But we do need the oil. I mean,
Well,
supposedly.
we only need the oil because we refuse to switch to renewables, which is a thing.
No,
I
we
think
switched
that's
to
a
nuclear.
gradual
We
process,
refuse to
and we're
switch to
not there
nuclear
yet.
because
Yes,
of afraid of nuclear bombs.
and we have refused to begin that process
No,
in
I
any
see
meaningful
it.
way.
I see it happening. On the
We're
local
going
level.
into renewables, but renewables, that's the sun's not out all the time, so we can't depend on
I
it.
don't think the U.S. is so stupid as to say we're never switching from petrochemical.
It's not a stupid thing. It's a
That would be
profitability
stupid
thing.
to dig your heels in the sand and say we refuse to ever switch to any form of energy ever. We're only going to use oil the rest of our existence. I don't think the U.S.
We have
is
tons
that's
of
the
wind
position
farms.
there.
We have the best hydroelectric power plants in the world.
Mhm.
We do have we still burn coal in some places, which I know most people are mostly against, but you
Mhm.
could argue that it's better but we have to rely more on coal if we weren't relying on oil. We do have natural gas as a potential alternative, but in terms of renewables, in terms of like electric cars and stuff like that, most of that is usually charged by oil. Burning power plants. So like it's like and from my understanding is that wind and solar
No.
just don't produce enough energy to support our infrastructure at this point.
It produces enough energy, but it's not on all the time, and energy goes at light speed. We need something that we have on for overnight.
Our
So
issue
we
right
need
now is
nuclear
batteries.
power because it can stay on overnight and not just go up and down willy nilly and not be on overnight.
I know that superconductor fiasco from earlier this year. That was so heartbreaking when that came out. That wasn't real because that really could have.
That would have been.
That would have been.
What
so
were you
huge.
saying that the issue was?
I mean, our issue is primarily with investment. We
batteries.
It's batteries because we can't store it. We have to store the energy because we can't generate it overnight. Because it's solar power.
So I'm not just talking about like, oh, hey, renewable energy is in like, oh, we build more.
So you think the United States
panels,
should or could invest more in
significantly more? Yes, in everything, in the entire infrastructure to change the way we generate power from.
So that's a political like that could be solved.
And hey, if they'd stop dumping billions of dollars over into Ukraine instead of dumping into our infrastructure over here, I'd be 100% for it.
Yes, I agree. I would be for that too.
Yeah,
but the truth of the matter is, if they weren't sending the billions of dollars to Ukraine, it's not going to go to our infrastructure for some reason. So I don't know.
No, we'll go to some other bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, then vote different people. Different people
all the people.
There's nobody to vote for that actually has.
I don't feel that helpless. I do not feel politically helpless at all.
I'm just gonna do stuff.
If I'm passionate enough about something, I have the ability to influence.
Well, no, I mean, who will you vote for then, Jeff? I mean, who is there to vote for?
I have to know a specific issue, but there's the local level all the way up. I don't just sit there and say I'm powerless. I can do nothing to affect what happens in my country. I'm at the mercy of whoever people decide to run and whoever people decide to vote for. I have no power to run for office myself if it's important enough for me. I have no power to advocate for positions and raise votes for those positions. I am just totally helpless and at the mercy of every other American out there except for myself. That's the mentality is so foreign to me.
Yeah, I'm not worried about voting for. I'm worried about advocacy in court cases, really.
Look, Jeff,
I've worked for gay men. I have seen the power of people to come together and change.
Yes, that is
society.
True, but we're not in that position right now.
We are. We still have the same political system that we used back then, that other people could use for their. That's why I like America. I like our system.
Yeah. So personally, I'm not worried about the voting.
If you're not getting the result you want, you're just not using the system.
The result that I want is,
and you have to be realistic
to stop literally funding genocides. That's
okay.
A bar.
Should I bite into this one? We talked for like 2 hours, and this is now we're getting to we're funding genocides. That seems like that would have
That was
Right
his
out of the
opening
gate.
point. That was his opening point. You forgot.
No, a
That
lot
was
of
his opening point.
a lot of countries.
What's the
fund
genocide? What is the genocide that we're funding that you want America to stop funding?
I mean, specifically, just name one. I'm curious. I actually don't know.
Because
of a
it's interesting
genocide
that it's showing up to me this late in the conversation. All of a sudden, that's the number one issue
Okay,
with America.
I mean, really, there's two big ones. Notably, the genocide going on in Yemen by Saudi Arabia, and it's being done because we support Saudi Arabia despite their ongoing.
We're giving money to Saudi Arabia and saying, "Here, use this to genocide." What are the Yemenis?
Well, we're certainly
supporting-
not sanctioning them or anything like that to try to stop them.
Yeah, like the ongoing genocide in Yemen is.
You seem very vague about this. So, like, you don't for such an important issue, you don't have your facts lined up, ready to go.
Well, there have been a lot of.
You could argue that we're funding some genocide in China because we have all the trade with them, and they definitely are committing.
The Uyghur genocide, yeah.
Yeah, are we funding that? Are we specifically giving money to China? That's what I consider funding.
Right. The fact that the Chinese government is doing a genocide.
Just because we do business with China and they're doing a genocide, that's not enough of a connection to say the U.S. is funding. You could say indirectly, in which case you don't want us to do any business with China at all. But that's different from saying U.S. is funding. That's what I'm saying. You're using rhetoric and hyperbole more than you are actual facts that I could connect directly to the US.
I personally would be much more on board with like us trying to do something to stop like the Uyghur genocide or the Yemen thing than I am on with Russia and Ukraine, to be perfectly honest. I really don't think that we have any business with the Russia-Ukraine thing. I think that we're doing nothing making it worse, to be honest. But you know, that's just the way that the political chips have fallen in that direction. So
I do personally think that we should be dialing back our support for Ukraine. Not that I think support for Ukraine should be dialed back, but I think that Europe should begin to assist in some of those responsibilities.
It's like right in your backyard. Yeah.
Yeah. Notably, I do think Ukraine should be admitted into NATO. I think the stupid thing where countries can't be in conflict at the time is kind of arbitrary and making the conflict worse than it needs to be.
But admitting them to NATO would not necessarily solve the situation. It might make it worse, actually.
Possibly.
There are other countries besides Russia that don't want Ukraine and NATO for some reason. I'm not sure. I don't really fully understand that, but that's something that P.F. Young had talked about on one of his things once. That I and I'm not a geopolitical expert at all. So
what countries?
I don't remember exactly now. I heard him talk
about. I'm hopping out. I need to take a nap. Talk to you later.
Take care, Hank.
Oh, nice talking to you, Hank.
Yep.
Do you remember which stream? Because I am curious about that actually.
It was something to do with the Ukraine war. He's talking about like this guy that was talking about like how it's something to do with like, you know, if we don't support this country, then like that causes weapons. Then they'll just team up with this other country, and it causes it creates all these ripple effects that happen.
Okay, yeah,
and like that. So like if we stop supporting Saudi Arabia, then they'll throw their support behind like Interpol, basically join up with Russia or something like that.
Yeah,
and then that's going to create a real geopolitical football situation where we really have a real mess situation. We don't just have Ukraine to worry about. We have all of the rest of the entire area over there in Europe and in Russia and all the surrounding Russian territories.
Yeah,
and like yeah, I mean
that's a beast of our own creation. To be fair,
it's a beast of our own creation, but at the same time, we still have to deal with it, and we're trying to keep that from happening because that's inching closer to an apocalypse type scenario. Because Russia still, even though they might be old, they still have nukes, and the more desperate and confident they get, the more likely they are to use them.
Yeah, that is true. Though, for what it's worth, when you say nukes, we're talking about like tactical nukes, probably not strategic nukes.
Well, they might I mean they probably still they probably have to rebuild like the rockets or something if they haven't already. But they used to have the capability to do.
They have the capability, but like I don't like. You don't use strategic nukes to win a war. You like,
But like, okay, let's say we pull our support of Saudi Arabia and they join up with Russia, and then Russia provides nukes to Saudi Arabia which happens to be pretty anti-Jewish and other things like that. And like
yes,
they decide, I'm just saying, like there's
yeah,
bad things that can happen, like very bad things. Like so, like our support for Saudi Arabia isn't just a thing of just like we want the oil. It's also a strategic thing to kind of keep them from, because they have so much money, and if they join up with any other country, they can fund any war they want. They can fund anything. So as long as they're on our side, it keeps them from joining up with other countries and funding a lot more genocide. Even though the thing in Yemen is a horrific thing, it's like one of those things. Like I can't even imagine being in geopolitics in the real world, like actually a politician doing this kind of thing.
yeah.
Like the kind of things you have to weigh. Just like you have to weigh all of these consequences, all these ripple effects, and even this tiniest little thing, the tiniest little move you make, or a tiniest little like statement you make. I don't know. There used to be this show. Did you ever see the show called? There was a movie made into it called. It was called In the Loop, I think. It's called. I think the show was on. It was a British show. It was about geopolitics and stuff like that, and like the whole movie was based on this. The thing is that the prime minister gets on television and says something to the degree of like somebody asked something about war with some country, and he says that it's unforeseeable at this point, and the fact that he says unforeseeable instead of just denies it outright creates this entire geopolitical situation where like it puts everybody in the brink of war. And it's a same guy that made Veep. But it's very, very like you can totally see how these kind of things actually work. The guy, I guess he used to actually work in British government, so it's from a kind of an insider perspective, and he's like kind of showing you like this is how like a tiny little thing, a statement like this can have this ripple effect that can absolutely like start a World War III and IV and V. Just over this tiniest little thing. And that's the problem, like with like, yeah, we can have all these problems we want with like the things like, the bases and all, and like our alignments to these countries, but the US does, I think, is doing somewhat, even though I think there's bad actors, there's people that are doing it for the wrong reasons. For the most part, they're doing everything they can to try to keep like a stability overall of the world, even if it's not that stable all the time. We have things like, Ukraine, Russia happening, you have like, Gaza and Israel happening, things like that. Like there's definitely instabilities, but we're trying to keep things from getting out of hand, more or less. And it seems like the world is increasingly on the verge of getting out of hand. And so I think it's a real clusterfuck, a really mind fuck, really. I'm just trying to figure out like any way you move, you could end up starting World War III. It's gotta be the most stressful thing in the world. It's no wonder that people that become president age like 30 years in a day. It's just like,
oh yeah. I mean, I guess morally denouncing this is leaving out the nuance that it is complicated. It's complicated because we fucked everything up for so long, but it is complicated.
But each and every one of those steps, each and every one of those fuck ups and everything, were motivated by something else that we were trying to keep under control. And like,
and the individuals. Sorry,
you don't trust the United States. Is what I'm hearing.
It's like the thing like, in a cartoon where there's like they're in a boat and like a leak springs, right? And so they go to cover that leak, and then by putting the pressure there, it causes another leak to spring over here, and so they have to like try to figure out how to do this leak over here, and so they got this hand here and this hand here, then another one leaks, another leak springs, and the pressure that you're getting here is causing other weaknesses to, you're trying to keep this from flooding, but at the same time, every one you plug is causing more pressure somewhere else, and it's causing more and more, problems.
Except like the initial hole was poked in there by the people in the boat.
Maybe, possibly, in some cases. But I mean, you could also say that this is all stemming from World War II. Even
I would go back way.
How far?
I mean, if you want to talk about like America and its imperialist ambitions.
Whatever your beef with America is, however far that started.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, technically the founding, but like really manifest
See,
destiny.
I told you.
Okay.
Okay, I understand. Yes, manifest. I understand your point there.
The reason why I was going to say is I think the initial imperialist stuff that happened in America wasn't. I don't think can be attributed to America as in the modern day America. I think it was Britain. I think that's who you attribute that to.
That's true. That's very true.
Britain, Spain, and Portugal, and France. Not as much France.
So, I guess you're anti-colonialist. Did you just want them to stay in Europe and not develop the New World at all?
Oh, they were right here. Hold on.
There is a that is a false dichotomy. So
question.
I had some.
Your question is a false dichotomy.
What's the dichotomy? That's
either doing colonialism or staying home and doing nothing.
Okay. How would you have had them do it?
Do colonialism? Not.
Judge the generations before us like that. We have no idea.
How would you have had them, other than stay home? How would you have had them settle into the New World?
Any other way other than what they did.
Right. I think at the root of all of your criticism
because what they
this
did
idealism that it has never really been done in history. You want this idealistic way of doing
the
things.
fact that and you might not appreciate this, but the fact that genocide is common among human history does not make it okay.
It doesn't. No, of course not.
So I'm anti-genocide, meaning that when I look back at history and see the genocides that occurred, I think that was not good.
Right, and that's what I call idealism. You want human nature
but it's also
to be something other than it currently is.
But having a moral judgment on something that happened so long before we were even born seems just kind of like silly to a degree. Well, I mean, like, I think it was wrong. I don't think any genocides were right. I don't think, like,
I mean, we're a murderous, violent species. We're apes. We're animals.
And I definitely think it was wrong. I'm definitely against genocide, but it's like going back and saying, like, well, it's basically like, does it invalidate our entire country and everything we built here just because, like, the people that started it were...
No, it doesn't. It's just important to understand that. It's important to understand the truth of reality, the truth of what happened, of
right. That's what I've been saying.
Yeah,
and Chris, go off camera, please.
I'm sorry. She didn't. I was changing her diaper where you couldn't see it, but then I couldn't find a diaper, so now I'm trying to find a diaper. And
you're good.
Sorry. I don't think anybody cares. I mean, Ann Ged's calendars are like aren't like banned. I don't think anyone's gonna think, and they have like completely naked babies like posing on fucking like flowers and shit. Weird. So.
Oh, that is true.
That's
Those are
art.
weird.
Well, we'll have to. This is an art channel, y'all.
It's an art channel. Hey, look. All right, let's do some media literacy. All right.
It's comedy. We're a comedy channel. We're a comedy channel.
Tragic comedy.
Tragic comedy.
Tragic comedy. There you go.
I guess I don't think it's idealistic to say that things
believe that humans should not ever kill other humans.
No, that it's bad when humans kill other humans. Broadly, obviously. I
think it's bad too, but I also know that is not the planet that I live on. I live on a planet where it's going to happen.
Well, yeah, but you also live in the world superpower. So
I think we do a pretty good job of not killing as many people as we could.
I think we could do better. I think
I do too. I think we all believe that we can do better, and like I do think and even though there's a lot of bad actors out there that maybe aren't trying to do better, maybe they are just trying to keep the status quo.
Henry Kissinger.
Yeah, or keep the status quo or worse, or actually do something, or actually make things worse. There are definitely people like that. But for the most part, I think there are a lot of people with good intentions out there. Even I think that even a lot amongst a lot of libs and Democrats and Republicans that I completely disagree with on many things, but I still think they probably most people, even the worst, most evil people, think of themselves as doing the best for the world. They think of themselves as the good guys. Everyone thinks they're doing the right.
Are the best for their tribe, at least.
Yeah.
No one thinks they're evil or the things that they're doing are evil. Well, they might think the things they're doing are evil, but they don't think that they're evil.
I'm still interested in how you would have the new world settled. Even the people that were the non-Europeans that were here conquered and slaughtered other tribes.
She wants to say, she saw you, Jeff. She wants to say hi.
Juniper. Juniper, did you miss me?
I miss you, Jeff.
Look at her. Oh my God. That face. She just lights up. Hey, Juniper.
She's excited to see you. She last night when I was in here when I was on TML stream, I think she was looking for you because she saw the computer and she was like, "Yeah."
We already have a codependent relationship going on.
I love it.
Unfortunately, she got a boo boo last night. Whenever I fell, and fell, and she got this boo boo on her eye here, and I feel so bad.
No! Oh, you had her when you fell.
Yeah, no, my daddy instincts were really good. I held her out like this whenever I fell over it, so it didn't, but it just bumped her. I just bumped her head right there. But she was okay. She forgot about 10 seconds after it happened. I'm still in pain. But
I was asleep in the bed.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey.
Sorry, guys. I didn't mean it.
No, you're good.
Oh no, this is a worthy interlude. Hey, Juniper.
Honestly, part of the reason that I really don't want kids is because I had a brother when I was like 13, so I grew up with a baby, and it really was awesome to get to experience that. But you know what? I'm good. Experienced it once.
You think that, man? You really, because I thought that too. Because I had two sisters that I took when I about the same age. I was like 13 and 15 when they were both born. I have two sisters that were born when I was 13 and 15. And I thought whenever we had our first kid, I was completely prepared. I knew exactly what I was getting because I'd been there for the births of my sisters, and I knew that was like, when you have your own kid, though, I know everyone says it, but it's completely true. You see your own child, and it changes your life in a way that you cannot describe to other people. It is impossible to describe. And that I'm not trying to sell you on it or anything.
Yeah, no. That's fair.
It's a completely different thing. It's just not the same at all. Like, even though, because I was convinced the same thing. I was like, I've done this kid thing before. This ain't no big deal. And it's just not that way. You see your child for the first time, and it's like at that moment, your whole life just melts away. Like everything that happened before, it matters more and less at the same time. It's an insane situation or insane moment to have. Like especially with our first daughter, we were told by the OBGYN that like my wife had miscarried, so we didn't know she was still pregnant. We didn't know there was still a living baby there. We found out later that she miscarried a twin, and so we went to the hospital because she had stomach pains, and went in like having no idea there was a baby there at all, and then found out and had a baby within 12 hours. Yep. And so it was a crazy.
That had to be a wild ride.
That was a wild ride, yes, and and like it just there's nothing. This one we had plenty of warning and everything with, but she is just. I wouldn't. As soon as you have your own kid, I don't know. For me anyway, people that have kids, they don't seem to they don't take to them or whatever. I don't understand it. I'm like, how can you have your kid in your life and not just be like that's the most.
Some don't though. I think my parents were like that, and I've seen other parents like.
I know. I don't.
They have no parental instinct or connection with their kid.
Yeah. I just don't get that. I mean, I know it's like that for some people, but man, I just don't get it. I didn't really, and because I'd helped raise my sisters and stuff. I wasn't like gung ho and necessarily having kids. It's not like I didn't want to have. I wasn't against having kids, but I wasn't just like I needed to have kids. I didn't have a goal in my mind. It wasn't something that I had there in my. It wasn't part of my plan or anything. But it's just like but once you have a little baby that looks at you and says calls you daddy, and He loves you like that. He says he hated everything.
I wouldn't even want a kid like Juniper. I would. It would set way too high of a bar for me. There's no way I'd be able to be the perfect parent I would want to be to raise somebody like her.
It's not
I
about
would
being
always
perfect.
be falling short.
There's no such thing as perfect. There's no.
No, but
there's
it's
no,
the pressure of
Yeah.
like wanting to be
Yeah, no, I
like
get that.
like I'm not a perfect parent, but I still love her and take care of her best I can, and I know that
I'm
she's
I'm feeding her Funyuns. I'm not a perfect.
That's a good parent. Y'all
That's
are raising
the
her
best-
right.
the
Funyuns and
best
YouTube.
parent. Funyuns? Oh, hell yeah. God, I love Funyuns. I should go get some.
I love Cheetos too.
She just loves it. She loves to jump. She loves to jump. She loves to bounce. She's just. I mean, I can't tell you. I mean, I do hear more than I've heard. Even with our first daughter was a very happy kid too. But like, I've never seen so many people tell. I've had so many people like stop us and be like, "That's the happiest baby I've ever seen." I'm like, really? Like, and I guess I can't think of a happier baby myself, but I just figure like most people have seen a lot of babies. People in the hospital say that to us. People in like when we go to like take her to the doctor. They're like, she's the happiest baby I've ever seen. I'm like, how can that be true? It's like, is our baby like really unnaturally happy? I don't even know what the secret is. I don't know what if that we do anything that's like all that special or different. But we just love her and take care of her. I don't know. But yeah, people tell us that all the time. Like 200. I mean, we had. I've had more than once. We've had people stop us and give us things, give her toys for and stuff. Just like at the hospital, at the grocery store, just like they didn't have kids themselves with them. They just for some reason had like a child's toy or something. They're like, "Can I give this to her?" And we're like, "Sure, I guess." Like, I don't even know what to say. You know, we went to the grocery store yesterday and we were walking around like we were at Central Market and they have all these bread samples and she was just like gobbling up bread samples like crazy. She was so cute.
The ladies were like, "Does she want more samples?"
Sample lady.
Yep, sample baby.
God, what places still give samples? Is it just like
That's a
Costco and
good
stuff?
question.
I know like, there's like a couple of the nice grocery stores around here like that we don't really go to them for much too expensive.
HEB.
But there's certain things they have that you can get other places.
Yeah.
And we go and so like there's the Central Market, which is owned by HEB, which I guess is I guess there's HEB stores around here too. I've never been to one of those, but like and the in Kroger, the really nice Kroger stores have like on weekends they have like tons. Like we went to like the Kroger like we went to this one time. Like they didn't just have samples. Like they gave us like half a 6-inch sub. Like was one of their samples. They had sub. Yeah, it was insane. They had like they gave me like a whole piece of cake. They had like they glasses of wine. Like it was insane. Like I have no idea like what it's in a very ritzy neighborhood. So I guess it's just like
Okay. That's
slices of pizza and like slices of pizza out. They had sub sandwiches that were like said like it was like it was like a half a 6-inch sub that they were just like here take a sandwich.
what the fuck?
But yeah, the Central Market's more just like your regular kind of like just sample like little sample stuff. But yeah, there's some crazy grocery stores around here. They have cheese sections of those places you wouldn't believe. It's like this like wall of cheese as big as my room.
No, I can believe that. I've seen some of the fancier places. Not any of the fancier Krogers though. That was
yeah, I didn't know Kroger had fancy Krogers until like we went to this one that's over there in this we only went there because like there's a restaurant. They have like this thing called it's called something kitchen, but it's basically a whole bunch of restaurants all in one thing. So like you go in there and you can order from the restaurants and like they just like have the people back in the back. So it's like they all share like the kitchen space or something.
Yeah.
And there's this place called Capriotti's that does this sandwich called the Bobby, which is a Thanksgiving leftover sandwich. Basically, it has like turkey and stuffing and cranberry sauce and mayonnaise and stuff on it. It's the best sandwich in the world.
Oh, so
and
good.
and like we got addicted to it back in Las Vegas. Did you ever go to Capriotti's in Las Vegas, Jeff? There was there when you were there.
Yeah, I just remember. Yeah, I didn't know there was a chain.
Yeah, like I didn't know they were either. But then when we moved here, there was 2 Capriotti's and they closed down and they reopened these things called Kitchen Mix. That's what they're called, Kitchen Mix. So we only went over there, but we only went to this Kroger just because like the Kitchen Mix was inside the Kroger, and we wanted one of those sandwiches because like we love those sandwiches. And and we found that they had there's like this insanely like ritzy Kroger store that just has all this like
So
crazy
many
stuff.
different kinds of bacon.
Yeah, they have so many different kinds of bacon and all this stuff. The central market we have here actually has they'll actually sell Carnegie Deli pastrami, like it's actually like made and packaged by the Carnegie Deli people. It is the most amazing lunch meat you will ever have in your life. It is insane.
What's
Anyway.
it called?
It's just the Carnegie Deli from New York.
Oh,
They actually sell like their pastrami that they like. It's like one of those famous things they sell is a pastrami sandwich. You can get their pastrami there. But that's the reason I went there yesterday because I wanted to make a pastrami sandwich.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, I totally derailed everything there. So anyway,
that's
No,
okay.
totally fine.
I'm gonna have to wrap up soon anyway. I'm supposed to go to dinner.
Yeah, let Emerald know. I'll message Adaptable and see if he still wants to watch that Nefarious movie. But I'll put a movie on.
I let her know to check the Discord that you might be doing something. So in fact, she's on Discord. You just message her.
Yeah, I think she's in my friend list. I'll let her know if she wants to watch a movie. She's welcome to come watch one. I'll get a hold of Adaptable and see what he's if he still wants to do it tonight or not. But yeah, I have fun with your family and everything tonight, man. That's I'm really glad. I'm glad you're getting a chance to you said it's 15 years. That's insane. I didn't know it'd been that long since you've been home. That's crazy. Yeah. I've never been away from my home for where my family was for that long before. That'd be crazy to go back for that long.
Yeah, it is. I need to figure out what I want to do because I don't want to go back to Washington State. It's making me realize just how miserable I am there and how much I don't belong there. So,
yeah, come back to the South, man.
I might do that. We'll see how the next 2 weeks goes, and then what happens when I get back.
I wish you had more time to stop in Dallas and
Oh my God, the plane got delayed. I was sitting in that damn for 5 hours.
Really? You should let me know. We would have come pick you up. I guess you would have known when it was going to.
I'd have to go to through security all over again.
Yeah, like the security's not always that bad. I was going to go.
I just waited it out, but I was so bored, like for just sitting in a lobby for 5 hours doing nothing.
Oh God, yeah. One of the planes I took to Washington had me in like a 12-hour fucking.
Oh my God! What do you do for 12 hours?
I got a hotel room. I was like, fuck that.
Oh,
shit.
okay. You didn't stay there.
Yeah, no, I was like, fuck this shit.
If I get delayed going back, I might call you.
It was actually crazy because it was in Las Vegas, so like I got to like drive around Las Vegas for a minute and then go to sleep.
That's a good place to get laid over. There's lots to occupy you.
Yeah, at least if you get laid over at the McCarran Airport there, at least there's slot machines.
Yeah, their airport is close to everything. It's not like way on the edge of town, like
yeah.
Cities.
You can just. I mean, I'm just saying that in the airport there's casinos.
Yeah, no. There was like a casino in the.
Yeah,
in the
you get off the plane and you hear the slots going.
And I just like, ooh, I'm not a big gambler. That was more my grandma.
Hey, don't be wrong. It's not a good idea. But I mean, I used to go to the locals casinos like occasionally, like with like we'd go and just take like $20 each and just try to find them. You know? And like you occasionally, we always thought of it. We're spending $20, but occasionally you walk out 200. You know.
Yeah, I used to, especially actually when I worked in Tennessee, because the guys I worked with, we would just stop by gas stations all the time. We would do scratch offs and stuff. The fucking poor tax.
I never do scratch offs. I don't know. I don't like them. I don't like anything about them for some reason. I don't know why. I think I'm fine with other kinds of gambling, but scratch offs for some reason like irk me. They make me feel white trash.
Oh yeah, no, 100. They absolutely does. But I grew up doing them, so I guess I am white trash.
No, I don't mean it like that. I don't think that anybody.
Oh no, I mean
it just like makes me. It just for something about them. I don't know why. I think it's like something that was like instilled in me from a young age for some reason.
Yeah.
That like I remember there being a lot of protests whenever I was a kid against like when they first introduced the Texas lottery, stuff like that. Like and a lot of the rhetoric around it was like it's like a white trash thing and stuff like that. I think it just like seeped its way into my brain when I was a kid. You know.
Yeah. No, I get that. I don't like it. It's dumb, but sometimes I spend $5 and I walk out with 50. So
Yeah, that's true. And Jeff, and you are in Louisiana, of course. You can always go to Shreveport too if you ever get like the Vegas. You really get the Vegas.
Well, we have the riverboats here.
Yeah, you can go over to Shreveport. Like we've done that a couple of times. Like the riverboat casinos are actually pretty comparable to the things you get in.
In fact, they have the big casino here. The big new casino. I haven't seen it yet. We might.
There's just one up about an hour north of Dallas from here called the WinStar. That's actually supposedly, like, in terms of like floor space, supposedly it's the biggest casino floor in the country. Supposedly that's what they say. It's I don't know. It's like the loudest, most obnoxious casino I've ever been in. But I mean, it's a casino that it does take you back to Vegas. And they do have.
I have not been in a casino since I left Vegas because of the memories. Like, I know it's gonna take me back right away, and I'm not prepared for all those memories to come flooding back. Even talking with somewhere the other day gave me a taste of that.
Well, if you end up like finding out like you end up getting like an extra day here in Dallas, something like that, we can go up to WinStar and we'll show you the show you the casino there. They do have a what was it? They have the crab buffet right there. Did they? Yeah. We don't have the stomach for it anymore. But like we used to go eat there. They used to have like a weekend crab buffet. It was like it was like $20, but like seriously, like it was like king crab legs and shit like that. It was pretty good.
And that's my favorite.
Yeah, like the big claws and stuff. It was good. Anyway.
Like your background.
Yeah, like your background.
Crawfish. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
I've only done the crawfish boil like a couple of times. Like I only had an opportunity to get them, but this one time I was working for a restaurant that did a big crawfish boil whenever they opened, and we had so much crawfish left. They gave me 2 trash bags of crawfish to take home.
Like 2 gallons.
It was like these 2 giant trash bags of crawfish, and we took them and ate them and stuff. But like and that was the first time I ever really eaten crawfish like that, and I had no idea how little meat was on them, but they were good. I actually did the whole like you pinch
suck the heads.
What's that?
You suck the head. Yeah. I don't do the heads. I just eat the tail.
All it has in it is like, there's nothing.
It's all this fatty yellow goop that people suck the heads and they have yellow shit all dripping out of their mouth with their.
I think these were boiled too long. There was nothing left in them but just like spices. That's all that was in it.
I like crawfish if I don't have to. Dismantle them.
Oh.
Like I like them in stew.
Nobody dismantles crawfish. We peel them.
For what it's worth, that's kind of just how I feel about seafood in general. Like my favorite is crabs. I love crabs, but I hate the process.
Crabs are too hard to get into. I can't figure out how to get all the meat out of them.
It takes a lot,
and I can never pull the claw where the meat comes out.
Lindsay loves it. That's her favorite thing to do. She likes the getting into the crab more than she likes the crab meat. I swear to God, she gets so into it, man. She gets those crackers and the thing, and she just tears into it. Like I can't do it half. It's like I just let her do it all, and like I just let her give me like a piece whenever she's done because like I can't even. It take me like 3 times as long to get a piece of meat out of a crab leg than does her. She can just like she just tear into those things. She loves it. You guys gonna have some Cajun food tonight? Then what are you gonna?
I don't know where we're going. I think we might do Mexican. They have a lot of Tex-Mex around here.
Oh, you guys are gonna do Tex-Mex?
Yeah, I really don't know. I'm kind of.
I figured you're gonna do something like real Cajun for like if you haven't been down there in so long. There's bound to be some kind of restaurant or something.
Yeah, yes, I'm sure I'm going to get very big and fat while I'm down here. I hope I fit in the plane seat going back.
Text.
I've got lots of clothes. You can. I got. If you need new clothes, you know where you can get them from.
I'll go Poshmark.
Yeah, I told you just if you find something you want, just put it in a bundle and just offer $1 for the whole thing, and I'll just send it to you.
Okay, well, bye.
Yeah. It's 2:30, so I'm about to head out. So thanks for.
I'll plug that for you too, man. If you like in the private chat there, see that link for Poshmark there. I'm trying to get rid of a whole bunch of clothes from my old store. So if you see anything on there, man, just like for any friend of the show, like I'm not really charging anything. So just if you see something on there you like, just let me know. Send me a message there.
Well, thanks for stopping by, Lib. It was a pleasure as always.
Hopefully I'll be stopping by more often.
Yeah, we're here. Chris, I think I could do same time tomorrow. So
Okay,
our
cool.
usual,
Oh, yeah.
we usually stream at 2 p.m. Central
Yeah.
every day if we can. Bye, Juniper.
Yeah, I said bye.
Bye. I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye. See
I'll see you
tomorrow.
tomorrow. Bye, Juniper.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Okay, it was good seeing you. I'll see you tomorrow. Let me play us out. What song did I play? Okay, I'm going to eat. I will see y'all tomorrow, same time, 2 p.m. Central. Let me turn the fan off.